Hello. All right. Now I come over here and I do the thing.
Which we do the thing.
Gotta do this. Oh, look, that's us.
It us.
Here. Hello, Blackcraft 27, Cobwebs and Candlesticks. Hello, Paul Bennett. Stanley S., Susan Atai, Jeremiah Dempsey, John C., Finn Godwolf, Happening Mojo, Scott Colhart, Jordan Bunce, Susie Gardner,
Hi, Mom.
Ken Zarish, Kiss My Glass Custom Engravings. Gotta enunciate that one. Michelle Schulte, Rachel Powell, DM Cash, Lisa Ach, Mike Cherzanowski, Lindy Vito, Rob O'Brien, Chad Smith, Ashley Russell, Ron Sheps, David Quintana, Sons of Wayne, good to see you on again. Ross Reichert, been involved for a couple days for you, I think, too. Love 14, good evening, good to have you back. Jose Herbina, John C., Pops on the Tube, hello, Pops, Jack Mania 77, and Michelle Schulte. All right, I think that caught us up, nice and even.
Hi, Cobwebs. Hi, John C.
So, did you guys remember the mask that I sculpted a while, like 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. It was a while ago. The goblin, well, he's sort of fallen apart, but Stan is fixing him, and then Stan's going to mold him. Stan, how do you feel about your odds of success?
Oh, it's going to be fun.
It's just going to be fine?
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic.
Okay.
This is awesome.
So it's good.
Ron Sheps says, love the beer.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I actually enjoyed making that. Now, I might have cussed a little bit at some wire twisting. It's so much wire twisting. But, yeah.
Jake's Productions says, hello, finally caught you live.
Hello, Jinx Productions. Why don't you guys just come? All right, we got to go right here. We got to pull the beast mode mask off of its, out of the mold.
Scott Green says, hi, Scott. Susan Atai says, hey, Stan and Stacy.
Hello.
Scott Green says, hello, Stan.
Hello.
Happening Mojo says, Alan's hair looks particularly Gordon Gekko-like.
Who's Gordon Gecko?
Greed is good. That guy. From the 80s.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Okay, because I was thinking of Evil is Good, which was the vampire in American Vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah, I was thinking that. So that's, yeah. It's
Barbara
good.
Saletti says, hey, everyone. John C. says, did Stan break it?
No, it dried out. I have been inattentive. I was an absentee dad.
Ken Zarish says, hey, Stacy and Stan. Hi, Ken.
I'm
Cobwebs.
hoping my wife will visit later, just because I miss her.
Cobweb says, love Stan's confidence.
Yeah, he is full of confidence, that Stan.
Chad Smith says, I've signed up for Patreon. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Patreon. That's a big deal.
Okay, there's a Patreon. And now Stacy is happy. I have fulfilled her request. Yeah, that's it. It's an interesting thing, and it's here's what's funny. I expect to be reimbursed for masks that I make. I expect my art to reap benefits. Like, this is how I want to sustain myself. And it has taken a long time for me to realize that this making the videos, that's another form of entertainment, you know? And while it's not a required something, it will be nice to have a little something more. Like, I get a little bit from YouTube, but they're not my kind benefactors by any means. They are a corporate entity who I am also helping.
Lisa Arndt says, good evening, Stacy and Stan. Michelle Schulte says, he has a ponytail. Good evening,
It-
Stacy and Stan.
It's like I have like a little tiny Yeti nipple in a headlock. It's barely a ponytail. That's what it is. But it looks a little ragged.
Majestic.
It looks a little ragged if it's not in something.
Ron Sheps says, hi, Stacy and Stan. Hi, Ron. Blackcraft 27 says, hope everyone's doing great. Just had a wonderful day.
That is a very kind wish for us, and I appreciate that.
Jen How's that? Says, whoop whoop, welcome aboard all.
Hello. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Scott Colhart, for sharing both our PayPal donation link and our Patreon link.
Holy moly.
Ross Richards says, Stan, let's see them socks.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. I don't know if we should. I don't know if we should post the PayPal link and the Patreon. That's like double dipping, isn't it?
No, because we're providing stuff for Patreon. If they don't want to sign up for Patreon, but they'd like to give us $1.
At that point, I feel like the homeless guy in the median with a sign pointing each direction. You know?
Hey, okay, I guess my thought on this is Scott on the payroll?
No.
So then there you go.
Scott can do what he wants. What you're saying?
That's right.
Okay.
I'll show the socks with the camera.
Socks will be on the menu as soon as you guys come back in.
Yeah. Right now, I'm fighting. You guys have the weirdest view, but I'm pulling up the beast mode mask. It's very involved. There's a lot of undercuts in it, and while undercuts aren't as big of a deal as some people would tell you that they are, they do make it a little harder to pull this flexible mask out of the hard stone mold.
Jason Kerr says hi all.
Hello, Jason.
Rob O'Brien says, yep, signed up for the Patreons.
That's so kind.
Blind Quick Thor says hi Alan. And hi, Michelle Schulte says, you go Alan. TJ Dowson says, you're a beast.
Mode.
Jamil Lars says, hey everyone. Mike Jimenez says, hello everyone. Robert White says, hello Alan and Stan and Stacy. Larry Hughes says, good evening.
Hello, all.
Bill Hillier says, hello everyone.
Hi.
Blind Quick Thor says, hi Stacy and Stan.
A lot of hellos. Very nice. How many people are on?
I can't tell from here.
Are you live comments?
I am in live chat.
I'll tell you. We have 66 people on.
Janet Najera says, hola desde Aguascalientes, Mexico.
Hi.
In the spicy water. Avid Emotive says, Vampire in Brooklyn, underrated film. Fun fact, Eddie Murphy wanted to do that film with Wes Craven for years as he was a big fan of The Serpent and the Rainbow.
I love that movie. One of my favorite vampire movies. I love the whole concept that vampires, there was a whole Egyptian vampire contingent. Really didn't kick back up until you had Queen of the Damned, which was lovely.
Rachel Powell says, my mom and dad both have that which must not be named. So my kids can't go to school and I can't go to work until the 14th. I'll have to be busy making stuff.
Wow.
Hope they do better.
Yeah, take care of that.
Bobby Dawson says, yeah, don't worry, Alan, you're good. Celeste B says, evening all. Bobby Dawson says, hello, everyone. David Quintana says, so the Patreon page, will it be more intensive and instructional?
It's good. Well, this is pretty intensive and instructional. It's going to be a mix of things. It's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm going to get to do some things on there that I can't do on my YouTube channel because it's so off-brand. I'm actually having to switch my YouTube channel. I'm having to open up another YouTube channel because I kind of have two different things going on with the live videos and with YouTube Wednesday. So,
Kiss My Glass
Yes.
Custom Engraving says, Alan, when you first started in your craft, did you know you wanted to make it a job, and how did you go about advertising?
Okay, so as far as that goes, I'm a pretty weird dude, all right? My life has been weird. I knew I wanted to do this from the time I was 10, and I kind of had to think, what can I do to make money doing it? Because I knew I was going to be doing this, I might as well make some money doing it. So,
Mom wants to know if there's a link to sign up to the Patreon.
there's a link. Yes, apparently Scott posted it, and he'll probably post it again before the end of the night.
If you scroll back up in the chat a little bit, Mom, it's up there, and it'll be here, I'm sure, more than one time tonight.
Since it's new,
Since it's new.
I don't want to beat that dead horse. Like, that's not what I'm about.
Scott Creighton says, smash the thumbs up, creepers.
So, one of the things that I know I want to do for Patreon is longer form videos. It's not the only thing that I want to do, but it's very easy for me when I am making a YouTube video, when I'm doing the edit. The first thing that happens is that 3 or 4 hours of footage turns into a 45-minute YouTube video. And then I have to pare it down and turn it into a 20-minute YouTube video. So there's probably going to be some hour and 45-minute long videos that go up on that. As well as very simple, thought of the day videos, which I want to do a positive message every freaking day, and I think that the world needs that, and I think that I can do it. I'm a fairly positive person. I've had a rough couple of days with the passing of a friend, but you know, even then, it's still a wonderful world that we're in.
Edward Lugo says hello from Mexico.
Hello.
Bruce Kraft says hello all. Chad Smith says, is it possible that Patreon will contain more sculpting?
Yes. Yes, it is possible.
Ross Richard says, I'm obsessed with the Great Pottery Throwdown. I love it. Does anyone here watch it?
I've never heard of it.
Points Haunt says, hello everyone, hope all is well.
There are two things that could be about. Are they actually just breaking pottery, like throwing down pottery, or is it a competition involving
I think
pottery?
they are throwing pottery.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to say I'm not intrigued, but let's say I'm less intrigued.
David Quintana says, yes, this is very good.
Is it like Name That Tune, where you like think, I could take 6 pots to the face before I go unconscious, and then they start breaking clay pots over your head.
Like Quest is the new YouTube channel up.
It is not up yet. I'm having some technical difficulties with that I will have to circumvent. And as soon as it's up, I'll announce. We'll post it on Creepers. I will make a video just for that. I'm not going to make, let's be honest, if you were one of my subscribers and I posted a video, I just launched a Patreon. No one's going to watch that video. All right, a couple people will watch that video, but that's not what you do. I'm just going to mention it in my next couple of videos that I have. But anyway, yes, once that channel is live, every video for about a month or two, and then I'll mention it every now and then. Yeah.
Misty Jazerski says, howdy all, I finally have internet again, so I can join again.
And everybody who asked for a Discord, we now have a Discord, right?
Through the Patreon.
Through Patreon, we have a Discord, which is a whole different chatty thing, which is neat.
One of the cool features that the Patreon has is a voice chat channel. So you guys can, if you have a microphone and a headset or speakers, you can go into the voice chat channel and you guys can talk.
That's cool.
JLR says, just watched the deer video, my son liked it, so did I, we will be making some. Thank you.
You know what? That was so different, and I like wilderness. It was really nice to be able to take something like lawn trimmings, you know what I mean? Like brush. That was excess brush that guy was getting rid of, and now it's going to be a decoration that lasts for years at my house. The cost on that is so cheap, and I cannot wait till a little closer to October. The scarecrow that I can make with those exact same techniques is going to be awesome, in my opinion.
Daza said, oh Alan, I'm sorry for your loss. Jack?
Loss happens. Loss happens. There is a wonderful poem about loss. It's called Gone From My Sight. And it is by a poet with 3 names. I forget what they are. But Henry Van Dyke. Gone From My Sight. And it is the best explaining of loss that I've ever read. And I love it. And it brings me a lot of comfort. And I try to post it whenever I see someone who is going through a loss. I post that poem.
Jack269 says hi.
Hi.
Ezekiel says, sorry I'm late.
It's all good, sir. It's all good.
Barbara Saletti says, the deer video will take care of our tree limb issues.
You might be late, Ezekiel, but you're still in the future. How does that work?
Jack269 asks, what are you making?
This is a Beast Mode mask, and Beast Mode is my sculpted version of Beastman from the Master Universe series. And I got an order for this from someone, so I'll be making a Beast Mode mask tonight. I'm hoping wait. Here's how bad at dates I am. Here's how bad I am. I was just worried that maybe next week was New Year's Eve. Like, wait, is Wednesday New Year's Eve?
Little
It's
gun jump in
probably
there.
not. It's probably
Little-
not New Year's Eve.
Little gun jump.
But they do sneak up on you, so you have to be careful.
It's December 2nd.
Next Wednesday is December
No,
2nd?
today is December 2nd.
Right, so what's next Wednesday?
Next
That-
Wednesday.
nice.
December
Right.
9th.
Yeah, because we're adding 7 to that? That's
English major.
still how weeks work?
I was promised there'd be no math.
Okay, so, yes, next week, we're probably gonna do sculpting, bingo, and if, Stan is game, and I'm telling you at the same time, I'm kind of asking Stan, if Stan is game, then Stan and I are gonna do sculpting bingo. Are you down? He's cracking his knuckles, he's ready.
Ready.
Ross Richard says it's, the pottery thing is on HBO Max. It's a pottery competition, BBC's show.
Okay,
Happy to Moses Allen is the scare version of Bob Ross. Happy little monsters.
you know what, I don't think that I think monsters are happy. They do, they make me happy, that's for sure.
Kiss My Glass Custom Engravings is in the same situation. I've been working with glass for over 20 years now, and now that I'm trying to make a little money at it, I feel like I can't get my work out for people to see.
Well, I mean, I feel good about where I'm at in my career. I feel good about things getting seen. I feel weird asking for money for people to watch me work. Is that because that's what's happening here? You guys have all tuned in to watch me work. That's so weird. But hey, if it makes you happy.
Masato K says, hey y'all.
Hello, Masato K.
Michelle Schultz says, oh, I have Discord. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Realms, what will be your nightmare? Says hi.
Realms.
Kim B.I. Brad Kennedy says, what's your four-digit tag on Discord? I'll have to look it up.
I have to look it up. I have a team on that right now.
But the Discord itself, like the Discord channel, is going to be just for Patreon.
Teams are standing by.
Jennifer Pugh says she signed up for Patreon. Pew, pew, pew.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much.
Misty Jazerski says, I'm going to use your reindeer technique for my hellhounds. Thanks for the idea.
Yeah, that would look cool. So, all right, one of my favorite mythical creatures is called a corn wolf, and I have wanted to make one of these forever. And what it is, it's a when you're looking at a field of corn, and this is a Germanic mythological creature. When you're looking at a field of corn, every now and then you'll see like a wind ripple go through it, but not all the corn is moving. And they said that was a corn wolf, and the corn wolf guards the corn from like deer eating it or people stealing it. He'll attack anyone or anything that's in the corn that shouldn't be in the corn. And what they do is when they're mowing the field of corn, basically, when they're taking all the plants and they're culling, cropping. What do you call that when you pull up crops?
Reaping?
Harvest.
Harvesting.
We ain't no farmers.
Harvester of sorrow. Yeah, when you're harvesting the corn, they say that the corn wolf retreats away from the harvester, so they leave like a 10-foot circle of corn for the corn wolf to live in. And then you plant from around there, and when all the other corn blooms, the corn wolf can come out and inhabit the field again. And I think that is just the coolest tradition. So, yes, make your hellhounds that way, is what I'm saying. And I think that'll be really neat. And I might make a corn wolf with those techniques down the road. Because no one knows what a corn wolf is. Another creature that just kind of grabbed me when I was reading a bunch of monster books.
Greg Watkins says, good evening, everyone. Hope you're well.
Hello.
Baba Dawes says, great to know. Thank you. I'll look it up. Wait, I already forgot the name of the poem.
Oh, it is Gone From My Sight by
Guy Colhart just posted a link to it.
Van Dyke.
Harry.
Henry Van Dyke. Henry Van Dyke, Gone From My Sight.
Grumpy Creations says, yo, yo, yo.
Hello, Grumpy Creations.
Jack269 said, did someone pass away?
A friend of mine passed away, yes. Someone who I was roommates with in Orlando. Just a good friend. A good friend.
Chad Smith says, I have a cool idea, I'm sure you already thought of it for Patreon. Announce a monster beforehand, then do a sculpt along with viewers, then we can all post pics of our artistic versions.
Yeah, we completely thought of that. Write that down.
No, it's on the list. It is, I swear to God.
Yeah, we actually do have that down. We have that down, and we're gonna do a lot of fun stuff. And Stacy's gonna yell at me to make sure that we do a lot of fun stuff. Stacy,
Don't yell, I'm not
Patreon
yelling,
has
Barbie.
been Stacy's baby, and we're gonna take care of Stacy's baby.
And we're still learning how to do it, so if it's a little rough at launch, y'all be patient with
You
us.
want crap? I can post crap on Patreon. I'll tell you that. So much, you'll be like, man, he should stop posting Patreon stuff. That's what you're gonna say.
Cobweb says McRib is back today.
Well, there's something to be joyous about. Processed near meats.
Patricia Sheffield says, when will your paint line be available for purchase online?
Okay, so one of the things that I kind of had to do was get past a bunch of stuff. I feel mostly past a bunch of stuff. I have 4 order sheets over there on that wall, and 3 days ago I had 14 order sheets on that wall. So we have knocked out a tremendous amount of orders. Making things for other people stops me from making things for myself. So, but it means that other people want me to make them things, so that's good. And they're paying me to make things for them, so that's good. If I don't have anything to make for other people, then I can do things like make paint for myself to sell in order to make money for myself. So other people paying me money is stopping me from making money for myself. Yeah.
Jeff Leach wants to know when the next monster camp?
You will know as soon as we know. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of factors. Here in Texas, we're not doing virally awesome. So that's something to consider, and we just want to see when we level out and how that happens. And then also, you may or may not know this, but there's a big political event that's happening in January where we're changing some things, and when that's going to be another factor of letting me know how stable the world is, because first and foremost, it has to be safe for folks to come here, and I can't always guarantee that depending upon the state of the world.
Like of course is we're family here, Alan.
Like here you're safe. Like during the zombie apocalypse, come to my house. We have like an iron gate around the whole property, and my wife makes awesome casseroles, and I have a medieval weapons collection. So we are covered for zombies. Yeah. The Mad Max truckers would be harder, but we could work something out.
Ezekiel asks, is the McRib even eatable?
You know what? They're not bad.
I like them.
They're not bad. There is a gas station version, which is bad.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Quick Trip sells them.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, Racetrack sells them. And Racetrack is like a budget Quick Trip.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
Yeah,
going to
so-
say, wow, Quick Trip usually doesn't do you dirty like that, but Ellis Fire says, watching you work motivates me.
that's great.
JLR says, well, we're learning while you learn.
That's true. That should be true.
Nick Meyer says hello.
Hello, Nick Meyer.
Scott Creighton says, Corn Wolf, that's cool, never heard of it.
Really awesome monster. One of my favorites. And I found out about him because I have a whole haunt design that is just a pumpkin patch. And in that pumpkin patch, there's some farmy things that I want to do, so yeah, Corn Wolf.
Cowboys Candlestick says harvesting. That was the report. Santa Mueller says, hi everyone, last slide we were talking about Distortions Unlimited. I think Alan went to Monster Day last year in Greeley. Are you planning on going back anytime soon?
As soon as they do another one, I would have gone this year, but they didn't do it this year. That's just how life went. So, you know how one of my favorite movies is Princess Bride, and there's a quote in there that is so very 2020, and the quote is, get used to disappointment. This was just the year of disappointment. Oh, I want to do this thing. I can't do that thing. Oh, I want to do that. You can't do that thing.
I thought it was Life is Pain, Princess.
Yeah. Life is pain, Princess. That's also good too.
Anyone who tells you differently is selling something. Like of course cornfields are creepy.
Yes.
Habitamoto says, how can someone who used the leftover stuff from making beer as a spread question the McRib?
Well,
Oh, Mom!
Eh,
Susie Gardner found it, signed up. So excited this is happening. The world needs your positivity.
oh, that's so kind. That is so kind. All right, so I have trimmed a lot of the. What happened was this mold rolled off of the counter and landed clean on its face, and it has several cracks in it, which show up like here. This is the seam of the mask. This is supposed to be there. This one that kind of
On the eye.
runs right down here, that's a crack in the mold. This back here, that's a crack in the mold. This up here, this is the same crack from all the way up here. So the next time I pour this up, what I'll be doing is I'll pour up a nice thick pull of it, and then I'm going to Dremel it perfect, and then I'll make a one-piece mold. Pull that I'll foam fill it, I'll pull that out of the mold, and I'll have a one-piece master mold for beast mode.
Jennifer Pugh says, I've seen people put fake shark fins in bean fields.
That's fun.
Jack269 says, it's weird they do that in my town. I've never noticed. I guess with the corn stuff, maybe?
Yeah. Well, are they German? I mean, that's a German monster. It's a German monster.
Oh my gosh. Bob Buzz says, thank you for the poem. I got it. That's not okay. I just Patreon. Woo!
Oh my gosh, you guys are all so nice.
Habitamoto says, is the corn wolf made of corn or maize? Trzanowski has just joined. Jack269 says, is the corn wolf a wolf made out of corn or a big wolf?
In my brain, it is a wolf made out of corn, and the closest thing that I have seen to it in movies is Lady in the Water from M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan Ding Dong Shyamalan. M. Night
Shyamalan. Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. Got it. She says I did good. All right, so M. Night Shyamalan, Lady in the Water. There is a wolf made out of like roots and twigs and stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of a corn wolf, except he's not made out of corn. So that monster, but made out of corn.
Grumpy Creations is doing a natural beer for sure tomorrow. Great video.
You know what? I really thought that was fun, and you could do a whole bunch of animals that way, as long as you're willing to twist wire together until you hate yourself, and people who invented wire. As long as you're willing to do that, then you too can make your own beer, and it's easy. It's easy.
Some questions about Patreon. Scott Grady says, explain Patreon, please. Cobweb says, yeah, Patreon's weird, tiers, and all kinds of crap. Ezekiel says, I might need Patreon explained in idiot terms. I'm your friend, not your smart friend.
Okay, now I'm going to be using the Dremel. While I'm using the Dremel, Stacy's going to turn the camera around and she's going to explain Patreon. And I'm going to listen as if I already know.
By he's going to turn the camera, he means I'm going to turn the camera.
Yeah,
Okay,
Royal Week.
the Royal We. So, Patreon is a kind of like a group funding project for independent artists. There's a lot of people who use it, musicians, print artists, graphic artists, cosplayers, things like that. And for us, what it's going to allow us to do is by offering different tiers of membership, there's $3, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, and $250 monthly. By offering a variety of benefits, which are listed out on that Patreon page per tier, we are basically going to be able to provide a lot of more in-depth stuff for you guys to support the shop. So some of those things are going to be like a movie night where we stream a film and all of our Patreon patrons can watch along with us. You guys may even get to pick the movies. Paint-alongs, sculpt-alongs, things like that. We're going to have some exclusive lives that'll just be for Patreon people. We have exclusive merch that's linked in the Patreon right now. So if you're a member, you have the link to the new Patreon merch shop with our Hardcore Creeper shirts and our new Be a Lantern shirts, and hoodies and stickers and things like that. We're also going to have some, for the higher tier people at $50, $100, and $250 a month, have exclusive member tier specific shirts that are just for them, that they get those for free. There's a lot of different benefits that are listed out there, like you'll get some free merch, discounts. There's discounts on Teespring, there's discounts on the shop merch, there's discounts on teeth and DVDs and sculpting tools and things like that. Part of the advantage of this is it allows us to do some longer in-depth videos, like some more sculpting stuff like Alan was talking about earlier. It's going to let him do some deep dives that YouTube is prohibitive of. YouTube likes short videos that people can watch all the way through. And if it's an hour and 45-minute long video, YouTube doesn't like that. They tend to put those towards the bottom of the stack. People aren't able to see those randomly, you know.
TikTok.
Hence TikTok, right? Short attention span theater, which is my favorite kind. But this allows us to do some more in-depth stuff. It also is going to allow us to do some more behind-the-scenes stuff that just isn't really in line with the kind of creative content that the Stilby Studios channel normally is. So it's going to give you the chance to have some behind-the-scenes with wife stuff, some behind-the-scenes with the Shop Monkeys, and you know, you can see what we're making.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah, Stan says he'd pay for that. But yeah, just it's going to allow us to interact with you guys on a different level than we already do, and it's going to allow us to give you some cool exclusive stuff just for supporting us. And yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a Discord channel that's associated with that, and it's going to be exclusively for Patreon members. So there's going to be, within that Discord, there's a place for you guys to ask for help specifically on artistic projects. There's a place to show off the work that you're already making. There's a place where you guys can just talk to each other. There is a place for off-topic stuff, and then there is...
Make sure you tell them that nothing I already do is going away.
Yeah, that's right. How we structured this, while I was out with surgery earlier this year, I spent a lot of time flat on my back in bed coming up with a really good way to make this a thing that was both accomplishable for Alan in terms of the kind of work that he wants to put into this, and also that's not going to take away from anything that we're already doing. So the free lives are happening still. That's going to happen on the new channel, Stilby's Live. The YouTube Wednesdays are going to keep happening on this channel, and he's still going to be creating all of the content that he's doing right now. This is just going to be something extra. He's still going to be consulting with people, and he's still going to be you know, available for you guys to talk to, just like he is currently, but with some of the higher end tiers, or even some of the middle range tiers, there's going to be some opportunities for us to get together, like on Zoom calls. You guys can have some face-to-face time with Alan. We can do some like make and take stuff where you guys buy a kit and then we'll get on a Zoom call and everyone will assemble their kits together with Alan. There's just going to be a lot of really fun stuff, and I think it's going to be really neat. And more importantly, it's going to be a really cool way for you guys to help us keep doing what we do. It's going to be a way that you guys can show your support for the channel more than just tuning in and showing up for the lives and occasionally super chatting us some change, which is awesome. And we are
If you want to.
If you want to. Like, it's super appreciated, and we are excited to have it. But nothing that you're already enjoying here currently is going away. Like, all of this is still going to be here. We may have one night a week that's already a night that's not promised on lives normally, that'll just be Patreon exclusive, but everything else is going to stay the same. So if you don't feel like you can support monetarily at this time, don't worry about it. Like, this is totally a bonus thing, and a lot of the stuff that's going to happen too is going to be released on, you know, the regular YouTube stuff just later. So you'll have early access. You'll have early access to registration for camps and labs. You'll have access to purchase like sculpting tools, things before they go live to the general public. You guys will have a chance to get in on that first. You'll get to see some videos first. You'll get to see some maybe some longer cuts of videos that are shortened up for YouTube Wednesday, things like that. So yeah. If there's any more questions on it, Scott Colehart is sharing the links for us. Thank you so much, Scott. And Rodney Pope says, I'm in the Stiltbeast Patreon, my very first Patreon. I'm honored to support such a great company. Thank you. Like, that's really awesome. Before we even published the video advertising that there was a Patreon, people were signing up, which is amazing. I'm 100% unsure how that even happened. But, but we were excited and grateful, and for anybody who is signing up right now for the tiers that you sign up for, we'll have t-shirts and things like that going out, and bits of merch going out as soon as we can. There are some benefits that are going to be after a full year that will come up. So like once you've supported us for a year at this, then this benefit will happen. And that's just to make sure that we're investing in people who are investing in us, which is really awesome. Ezekiel,
but that's big stuff.
That's
too.
big stuff, yeah. Ezekiel says, so if I sign up, everyone in my house has access? Yes, absolutely. Hi, Michael Lassiter. I'm going to catch up on comments here in a minute as soon as he gets done dremeling. But
I'm just about done dremeling.
But yeah, since I've got you right now on this end, if there's any other questions, is it going to be scheduled times? Some stuff is. He's trying to do a daily update of some shorter stuff, and then there will be some regularly scheduled things. Once we get everybody on, we're going to take some polls on dates for availability and things like that for group chats and all that jazz. But it should be a mix of some regularly scheduled stuff and just stuff as it comes up. But there's going to be plenty of content on there, which is exciting.
I would also say do it because you want to support the channel,
Sure.
not for free stuff. Like free stuff and extra stuff is going to happen, but do it because you want to support the channel. Yeah.
It really is a cool way to kind of directly support it. The idea behind Patreon is Chad Smith says, since we went live tonight, we've jumped from 4 to 13 subscribers. Cool. Ezekiel says, I'm also international, so sending me a shirt is extra postage. I wouldn't want to burden you. Really, it's cool.
Fine, yeah.
Like, not a big deal.
All right, swing that sucker around here.
I will.
We've had enough infomercial time.
But the idea behind Patreon is from in the days of yore, when, you know, a wealthy person could become a patron
Yeah.
for a particular artist. But this is just so that your regular average Joe can, you know, for $3 a month, become a patron of an artist. You're supporting our work, which is cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff that I want to do that I'm kind of prohibited from doing monetarily. So if this becomes something that helps pay for more materials, then I get to make more videos, you know?
Okay, we're gonna catch up with comments super quick.
Yeah, here I am.
Any pulls of Shannon's Ghost yet? From
No,
Grandma?
not yet. We're going to mold that right after Stan molds that goblin.
Graph UK says, what are you up to today?
I have a beast mode mask that I just dremeled the seam lines on, and now I'm going to trim the eyes and mouth and stuff out so I can get this ready for a customer. And that was Graphy UK?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the bonus ghost story in your video. I so enjoyed that. We got a bonus ghost story and a little video tour of a haunted basement.
That's awesome.
And that is on the Stiltbeast Live Creepers page on Facebook, where you guys can post stuff. And that is something that Graphy UK posted, and it's wonderful. Made my night.
Chad Smith says, business is expanding. Time for a shot monkey.
Yes.
Jack 26 says, I'm sorry for your loss. My grandma passed away on my birthday, and it's coming up.
It's rough.
Susan Atai just signed up for Patreon.
Oh, you guys are so nice.
Captain Margaret says, hey, did I read at some point there was a Krampus event this weekend?
Yes. At the Reunion Tower, there is some kind of a photo with Krampus event and a escape room with Krampus. Yes.
Captain Mojo says, hamburger is particle board beef. Just enjoy it. Bob Dawson says, for real, we need to get that zombie apocalypse plan set up so I know where I'm going.
Should.
Oh my god, good jump down. Oh no. Me and the Snit says you need to get to work on Quick Trip to sponsor you.
You ain't lying.
Crappy Clown says, what's up?
They got a lot of airtime. Crappy Clown, I appreciate your persistence and enthusiasm. I really do.
Scott Creighton says, what are tentative dates for 2021 for MHC and Transworld?
Stan, can you look up tentative dates for MHC and Transworld?
I believe Transworld is first weekend in March.
First weekend in March,
I think
Stacy
it-
says
and I-
tentatively.
And I think MHC is first weekend in June.
Remember, I thought next week was New Year's Eve, so I'm not the guy. But MHC is normally in June now, so we're working on it. We're going to get you those answers.
All right, now we're into mold droppage. Language Thor says, damn it, Rob. Captain Mojo says, use the cracks as a feature. Beastman should have some scars, fresh or old. Thank you, Chad Smith. We got dates posted already. Thanks. We're catching up on comments. So, yeah, we're good. March 4th through 7th is Transworld. June 4th through 6th is MHC.
Sounds awesome. I
Crappy
can't
Clown
wait.
says, I forgot how to breathe. Realm says, thanks for the tips on how to mold the prosthetic.
I did. Realms. I answered you. All right. So
You
Realms.
said thanks for tips. Yeah.
Oh, he sent me a picture and it was of a mouth. I think it was like a Grinch mouth. So good work on that because I could tell what it was, or a Who mouth, whatever it was. Anyway, and you do what is called a cutting edge, where you mold it just off. You don't have to mold the whole head if all you sculpted was a mouth. You just put your mold wall about a 1/4 inch around, and that is what you do. Yeah.
Finn Godwolf says, FYI, Immortan Joe died today.
Oh, that's sad. Speaking
Gray-
of the diesel punk apocalypse,
Gray Hawkins says, hello.
hello, Gray Hawkins.
Like, of course, let me know when I can sign up for Monster Camp, I guess.
Stacy, should I tell Gray that she has to do her homework or anything like that?
Yes, you do need to tell her she needs to do her homework.
Gray, do your homework, or you'll end up like me. Look at me,
She's gonna
in my
get-
garage trimming masks.
Like, she's not gonna be able to go to the drill team
I'm not a
Christmas
dentist.
party. Like, it's gonna be a bummer. So she needs to do her homework. Happen Mojo says he shall walk into Valhalla, shiny and chrome.
Yeah.
Bob
And-
Gus says, my favorite things are made of root crap and sticks and twigs. Love the deer.
You know what? Yes. That whole, like, what is that called? Is that called stick craft? Like, I don't know what that's called, but yes, you make stuff out of sticks, and I love it.
Mom says it was easy to sign up on the Patreon. Sorry, Mom, you can't post links on here. You're not a moderator.
Right.
But she knows that.
She tried to post it.
Yeah. She did give birth to a moderator. Still, cuts you no slack.
I was extracted. Babadaza says
Wow.
deer, the dearest deer.
It's a deer.
Lisa Art says, I'm a collector now, but I have kaiju goals.
Yeah.
Y'all, the kaiju shirt is real cool. Maybe I'll post the higher tier shirt designs in the Creepers. Thank you, Scott Creighton, for the link to Midwestern Hunters Convention. Mom says, wait, I thought you were coming to the ranch for Zombie Apocalypse Plan. Well, we're going to the ranch, Mom. But Alan has a perfectly suitable
Yeah.
fortress right here.
Right, yes, I have my own fort. Yes, sir.
I did what I can do. I just need you to touch up one little side of it.
What is it? What's wrong with it?
It just doesn't look exactly like the other side.
Just make it look more like that side. I have faith in you. I have faith in your abilities. I trust your ability.
Thank you, Scott Crawler, for the link to Transworld. He was a toe cutter in Mad Max. Blue River Lore. I can never say their name right.
You
Says,
cannot. You're
Senior
correct.
citizen discounts? Question mark.
I don't know that. Just go with the next one. Like, go with the next one.
Grumpy Creations says, I know how hard that YouTube thing is, especially when you have a full-time job. I have a channel and coming up with content or time to make content is difficult.
Yes, and that's what Patreon, when they started, it was, let's free up artists a little bit more time to make art. I mean, you guys can tell, this channel happens around what I have to do for a living. Thank goodness that I'm able to film a lot of what I do for a living for this channel. And this has really picked up since lockdown, since COVID happened. That was the impetus for me restarting YouTube Wednesday. And, when the time comes where I have more things pressing upon me, this time will go away unless this time becomes monetized a little bit more, and then it justifies its existence. And I hate to do that, but it's, monsters got to eat.
Language Source says, I'm thinking about the 10.
And Cheney can go through the kibble. I can tell you that.
Greg says, hi Stacey and everyone, I'm so proud the Patreon launched.
Yeah, she did a lot of work on
Lisa
that.
Art says, I was the first, woot!
You were
I don't
the
even know how
first.
you found it. It wasn't posted anywhere. We sent it live and like 10 minutes later, it was like, boom, somebody subscribed. I messaged Alan and he was like, no, the video's not live yet. And I was like, I know.
Very kind. I really appreciate that.
Ezekiel says, sounds great. The Minister of War and Finance will do the signing. Love the idea. Mike Trznowski says, thanks, you're a sweetheart. Lanky Thor says, I got your back, Alan. Pat Swift says, I'm thrilled the Patreon got up. I know how difficult it was for Alan to be okay with it.
It's tough. It is tough because, you know, but I was talking with someone and we jokingly said that I'm the worst haunted house consultant out there because of how much I do without charging. You know, I do a lot of haunted house consultation just like this, and someone calls me or just talk on email, and I don't charge anything. So I want people to do things that they love. And I firmly believe the world needs more monsters. That's what you want to do. I want to help you be able to do that. Whether that's a haunted house or sculpting and building or whatever. But putting a value on the time is something that I also have to do so that I'm able to keep doing my stuff.
Art Morbid says, cheers, guys. Awesome mask. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. This is a beast mode mask that I'm about to go grab some naphtha and clean up all these little fuzzers. Yeah. Look deep into my
Thank you,
eyes.
Scott Colhart, for the tea spray. Mike Dunes says, just sign up for your Patreon. I've learned so much from you. It's the least I can do. Thank you for all that you do.
So kind.
Ron Shep says, are you going to do something live on Krampusnacht?
Yes. Yes. That's the 5th. Yes.
Greg Watkins says, yeah, I'm a monster.
Oh.
Black Cat 27
That
says, do you ever get
sounds
worried that the Dremel will get too hot in one spot and potentially burn through the mask when you work on the seam lines?
Am I worried?
That the Dremel will get too hot on one spot and potentially burn through the mask?
I've never even thought about it. Now you got me nervous. No, I mean, we use a felt wheel, and the whole time that you are dremeling on the latex, the dremeling is doing this. That's what the latex is doing. Because that's rotating. So it bounces so much, it doesn't really build up that much heat. Like it doesn't even get warm. So.
Michelle Schulte says, I've
Yes.
had an early night. Gonna put you on the big screen. Night, Alan, Stacey, Stan. My fellow creepers, stay safe.
Alright.
Crafty UK says, you're welcome, sir. I enjoy making videos for you guys, and Henry the Ghost hasn't given me my teeth back.
Yeah, jerk.
Chad Smith says, if you get too big, Alan, I'd be happy to do some contract sculpts for your business. Not that you would ask me, throwing it out there.
Sculpting is the fun part. Like, you'll notice I'm going to be painting a mask and Stan's making a mold. That's not the fun part.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah, Stan's enjoying himself. But
Jack-
normally Stan's on a computer, you know?
Jack269 says, does no one own a calendar where you work or where you live?
I'm bad at, like, okay, so dates are not good for me. I am not technically dyslexic. It's another word where
Dysgraphic
numbers
numbers.
lined up and in a grid pattern. I have a hard time, like they move and they wave on me. I'm not good at that. Parts of my brain are broken happily in a way that allow other parts of my brain to take up that space. So, yeah, things are good.
Big Ink Media Group says, Alan, if I don't get to watch your live next week, have a happy and safe new year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott Colhart, for posting the Reunion Tower Promise Escape Room. Justin Hill asks, what do you use to Dremel the seam? Like which bit?
Oh, okay. So this is a felt tip. This is a felt tip. And on Amazon, you can buy a box of Dremel accessories that are, oops, all felt tips. Right here, all felt tips. Anything you see in there that is not a felt tip is something that I took out of the Dremel and put in the wrong place. So yeah, this is all different felt tips. I tend to like those sweet bloody ones right here that I've got, but these are, they're all good. But yeah. And I bought this like a year and a half ago. So they last a long time when all you do with them is latex seams.
Paul Bennett says, just bought foam floor tiles from Harbor Freight. I'm to try out for other Krampus horns.
You go live, that's all. Great.
You gotta say it in front of the camera though.
That's great, Paul Bennett.
Baba Dawson says, totally get it. It's a great idea, Patreon. Ezekiel says, 9 to 5 pays the bills, 6 to 12 builds the empire. I firmly believe you should be paid for all the awesome info you folks from all over the world.
Well, that's very kind.
Baba Dawson says, holy crud, it's December 2nd. Zombie snail noise. Thank you, Scott Colhart, for the link for the felt tips.
Which Stan was working on the zombie snail shirt, so that's going to be able to be up soon too.
Yes.
Baba Dawson says, me too, Alan, about the calendar stuff.
Yeah.
Jennifer Pugh says, the shop seems cleaner today. Good job, Stacy.
Exactly what happened. Stacy got here, I'm like, can you, and then I had to go post YouTube Wednesday, which went live right at 7 p.m. And I gave you guys just enough time to watch it, and then we went live.
Grumpy Creation says, you might not charge for everything that you give advice about, but I'm creative by nature, always have been, but sometimes it's hard. Thanks for the creative motivation.
Yeah, and that's something that I have been doing a lot lately, is motivation. Now, I always say that haunted house directing, you have to be a half football coach because the X is here, then you go to the O, and because that's what haunt acting is a lot of. But then the other half, you have to be a motivational speaker because you're asking people to do stuff that is very difficult. So that aspect of my job has, I don't know, a lot of people seem to be looking to me for that kind of motivation and inspiration, which isn't my intent. I just want you guys all to make monsters. And it doesn't even have to be monsters. I said Thanksgiving. Even if you're making mashed potatoes, produce more than you consume. Output something. Output something. What countries are poor? It's countries that don't have anything to export. And if you are not exporting something, then I think your soul is poor. I hate to say that, but no matter what it is.
Mom says, oh sorry, I was trying to help. That's okay. It's just how a feature of the channel that only moderators can share that. Also, did you hear that, Mom? Somebody complimented my cleaning.
Yeah.
Ezekiel says, be a lantern. Massive motivation.
Be a lantern, absolutely. Be a lantern.
Which is one of our Patreon exclusive
I
shirts.
don't think that we can survive long term solely from the light of others. You can get by for a while, but you got to make your own light. And for me, a lot of the time, making monsters is making my own light. If I have a rough day, I want to get in here and I want to sculpt. That's what I want to do, and I think that's something that helps me make things better. When I can, maybe I can't order the chaos in here. Maybe I can't order the chaos in here. But if I can grab a lump of clay, that chaotic blob, and turn it into the order and the structure of a face, then that helps in some small way.
Grumpy Creation says, go make stuff. Straightforward, simple, effective.
Yes, sir.
Cat Swift says, I make a wooden castle, think boys dollhouse. Usually foam core or spackle on the outside, describe stonework. Today, I use liquid nails. Game changer, easier, faster, cheaper.
Isn't that great? Awesome. I'm so glad. And that's my favorite quote is from One Thing, No 10,000 Things. You saw me do it on something else, and then you tried it on what you were doing. Yeah.
Scott Colhart, she was just trying to share the link to the Patreon. But thank you. David Opplinger says, Alan, you should make a zombie snail puppet. That would be cool.
We may do that. We may do that. Now, Fright Props used to make a zombie snail, and they stopped production on that for some reason. So, yeah.
John Hayes says, did you know there's a real death whistle people found, I believe, from the Aztec? When blown, sounds like a person screaming. Very creepy.
Yes. Yep. We in our booth at trade shows, we sell them. I have a friend named Neil Goldsmith who I was going to start making them and selling them for haunted houses, and I looked into it a little bit, and I saw that Neil was making them and selling them. And I'm the kind of person I don't want to step on someone else's toes, and so we worked it out where I buy them from him and I sell them at my booth at the trade show. But I also buy them from someone who 3D prints them, and the 3D printed death whistles are also kind of neat because they're compact. but they do sound like the Dickens.
Justin Hill says, do you know the method companies like Distortions use to spray latex into mold? I've tried a few times and massive clogs happen constantly.
Yeah, it depends on what you're using to spray. When they're doing spraying, they use something like this big pressure pot up here. That pressure pot, and it comes with these great little screen filters, and you take those out and you throw them away, and you never use those. Yeah, this beast right here. That is the Harbor Freight 2 1/4 gallon paint sprayer tank. And you pressurize it. It has to be, so you're pumping compressed air into that to build up pressure so that can really shoot it out.
Dan, of course, asked Alan, are you doing any seminars at Transworld?
Yes, I am. I'm doing 3 seminars at Transworld, and I turned them in last year since Transworld didn't happen, and I've since forgotten what they are. So I'm going to have to look those up and pull out those folders again
Truth and respect.
in order for me to tell you what they are. But they're going to be good ones. Yeah.
Cat Swift says, I've used it on terrain, but first time on the castle. So much faster. I did 2 in less time than it took me to do 1.
That's awesome. I love that. I am all about fast and cheap. Except when it comes to picking a wife. I will say, if you're picking a wife, then it's not about fast and cheap. Those aren't the best ways. Those aren't the best virtues. But as far as materials and making things, I'm a big fan of fast and cheap.
Jennifer Pugh says, puppy!
Bye-bye.
Jenny was in here for a minute. Shadow Jim 81 says, Alan, hey Alan, what's up?
Hello. Nothing. I'm making them mad.
Lisa Arndt says, do you have a whistle in the shop? Would love to hear one. Is there a video?
I got one in my car. Let me go to my car. And while I do that, you guys can talk to Stan. I have one of the 3D printed ones in my car. That's all.
Hey guys.
So, if you're just joining, I'm doing a little repair work
Oh, they want
to
you to hit the
the.
horn while you're out there.
You won't hear the van is too far away.
So here's, can't see it. There we go. There we are. So earlier, we pulled, can you even see this? Oh crap, that looked important. So this is kind of the rebuild. This is a mask that Alan sculpted, and it got left out for too long, and it got dry, and it sort of fell apart a lot. And just to give you an idea, this used to be a cheek. So what I did was I basically just put some patching on it and rebuilt up. There we go.
Mike Cherzanowski asks, sorry,
So
is
on here on the
Patreon
cheek.
on Facebook or YouTube?
Patreon is its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk through that, and then she can explain.
So what we did was, like I said, the cheek and some other parts that I could just patch up with clay, we patched up. This side kind of fell off. So I did my best to mimic what Alan had going over here.
I have complete confidence in you!
Total confidence. And I know from looking at it, I got to make these lines a little bit deeper because they don't match over here. I don't sculpt very much, and definitely don't do it standing up over the top of one of these and put it together. But my true sculpting stories of Stilpies, I have been asked to sculpt exactly 2 times since I've been here. And the last time before today was my very first day here, and I walked in and I was ready to rock and roll, and Alan said, hey, I got a sculpt over there that dried out and fell apart, go fix it. That was my interview, and it was our fishman, the fishman mask. When one of the sides that basically fell off of it. So I had to go in and fix and sort of replicate what Alan had done and make it look like he had done it. And that for me is that was a trial by fire, but I had so much fun. So here we are on this, and hopefully just a few more minutes, and I'm putting kind of a cap around it, because normally when these are on the stands, we set them down and it's got a little bit better of a seal so that your plaster doesn't get completely underneath. So what I'm doing now is I'm going around and just taking some pieces of clay and I'm going around the edges and making sure it's got a really decent seal on the table. So I'm going to mold it here, and I want to make sure that plaster doesn't leak and get underneath it, because normally with these, you sculpt it and the clay's wet, so you can pick it out. That's gonna be the part I'm most curious to see how that happens.
Power washers solve a lot of problems, man.
There's my curiosity is, are we even picking it out, or are we gonna throw it in a bathtub?
Alavasha.
Kalavasha.
All right, I'm going to take them away from you.
To the chopper.
Okay. So, Stacy, did we get any comments that we have to catch up on?
If we do, Zombie Ranger would be cool if TJ goes out. Michael Astor posted a link for the Death Whistle. Shadow Jim 81 says, hey Stan the man. Shadow Jim says, nice shirt, Stan. Scarecrow 77 says, hi everybody, just watched Alan's set design videos. I'll never think about feng shui the same way again.
Yeah.
Justin Hill says, how do you clean the pressure tank after use?
You pour out as much as you can wherever you pour your latex, and then set it out and let it dry. And once it dries, you peel it out because it's latex to metal.
Click Chef says, you can do it, Stan.
Yeah.
All right, Paul Bennett says, I'm asking about the shop air compressor Fortress at Harbor Freight. Is that quiet? I think 21 gallon. I'm asking because I can't hear, so.
Okay, the 21 gallon is not quiet. It's not that quiet. It's quieter than a normal 20 gallon air compressor, but it is not like super ultra quiet. It is quieter, it is not quiet.
Cat Swift says, Stan, I'm confused. Is this the sculpt that would then get plastered to make the mold? If so, what was the timeline for it to dry out and crack?
Yes, it will get plaster on it to make it, what do you say, like 2 weeks?
And it dried out. How long ago did I do that?
Before you guys drove to Alabama, I sprayed it down and it was already cracking.
It's at least a month old,
At least.
and I have not taken care of it. Because, yeah. That's why I shouldn't have children.
John C. says, the Haunt Dogs website seems to be gone.
Yes, Haunt Dogs, it's down for now. It is down for now.
The Kali Chef says, it's Shrek.
Okay, so this is a death whistle. Little tiny death whistle. All right. And it doesn't sound good over that kind of audio, all right? There's nothing that I can do to make this sound like it should coming out of your speakers. So it's going to sound like... If snakes cussed and a truck ran over its tail, this is the sound a snake would make. And it sounds a little screamy. Yeah. Yeah.
Ezekiel says, Underbite Elf, awesome.
Yeah.
John
I like
Hayes.
underbites.
John Hayes says, I loved volunteering in haunted houses for several years. For a long time, hasn't been any haunted houses in my city.
That's terrible.
Catholic says, so they should be sprayed down, covered with bag, and only kept for how long before plastering?
Well, plaster as soon as you can, but if you can't plaster right away, then you need to cover it with plastic and wet it down, then cover it with plastic. I just want to see. It's a terrible noise, but it's not the noise I want. That was the noise I wanted either. Yeah. That's what you get on Patreon. Longer airbrush fart videos.
Aww. Paul Bennett, okay, thanks, Alan. My mom says, did hear the cleaning compliment. I'm so proud. This is
One in a row.
The highlight of her life, hearing that I was good at cleaning a thing. Ken Zuri says, Alan, is that going to be a single elf mask or part of your six-pack elf mask the sculpture stands working on?
It'll go into the 6-pack lineup.
Ezekiel says, I use vinegar too to stop mold from happening. I'm in a warm climate.
Yeah.
Chad says, it has more of a whistle in person.
A little. Yes.
Jennifer Pugh says, death fart, prison fart.
You don't have to read all of Ezekiel's comments. I'm just saying.
Paul Bennett says, speaking of whistle, use an acorn cap and a thumb to blow a whistle.
Yes, you can do that.
I really want to learn how to do the kind of whistle where you like put your fingers in your mouth and it's super loud. I have tried. It's possible my mouth is a weird shape.
It's possible.
Your mom's a weird shape. Felicia says, super smash the like button.
Super Smash! Yeah, we're going orange.
Orange. I put your Plastidip orange on the other side with the colored paints.
Okay, great.
The CEO says, it's been a while since I was in a prison.
Indeed, yeah.
I went to prison once as a scared, like I didn't go to prison, like my class went to prison as part of like a scared straight program. When I was younger, I got into a lot of fist fights because I thought it was fun. That was a recreational pastime, was to get in fist fights. That's back when you could fist fight without getting shot. Harder to do now.
We're going to jail.
Yeah. There's way more jail, lawsuits, and being shot happening with today's fistfights.
Misty Jezierski says, I just imagined using that death whistle on a Bigfoot sighting hunt.
Yeah, they'd be good for that.
Ken Zarish says, very cool.
All right, so I have something orange. Orange ink. It has a name.
Realm says, I can't wait to pull the latex out of the mold for the elf.
Don't forget to baby powder it. Don't forget to do that. So the name of this color, I was going to tell it to you, but I have spilled the latex, the ink in such a way that I can no longer read. It's Calababa Orange. I don't know what it
Calico
says.
orange. Do you have another one?
I have a tangerine, but it's a different color.
Lots of burro brown. Chad Smith says, you're talking about fist fights. I can't make this up. There was a shooting in Chicago for Thanksgiving leftovers.
Nice.
Shooting in Chicago?
Yeah.
For real?
Shocking, I know. Somebody was, one of the podcasts I listen to has people write in with like town stories. And one of them was their great uncle stabbed their grandfather or whatever, over they were both drunk and he flicked a cigarette butt in his face, like not a lit one, picked one out of the ashtray, flicked it in his face, and the guy stabbed him 16 times.
Wow.
And afterwards, they were cool.
Okay. You have to be really inefficient at stabbing someone to stab them 16 times and they're still okay with you.
Apparently, they had some weird family dynamics happening.
Apparently.
Cliche says I saw a video about that. Thanks for my things. Scott Colart says the ink color is Calabaza Orange.
Thank you, Calabaza Orange.
Isn't that a pumpkin, Calabaza?
I don't know.
I think it's kind of a border.
John Hayes says, is there a way to make Connor houses interactive, reaching in holes with slimy gummy worms for worms, etc.?
There is. Here you go. All right. Yes. Yes, there is. And haunted houses used to be. But in order to make more money, to put more people through, they had to cut a lot of that. And one of the cool things that COVID has done is it has made haunted attractions slow down how many people they're putting in. So you're going to get some of that back. You're going to see more and more of that happening if this makes bigger ripples than just this year, and I think it will. So you're going to see more of the interaction that maybe you have been missing in haunted attractions.
Ezekiel says, I probably stabbed someone at dinner if they reached for my pecan pie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Realm says, how do you do the ears on your elf when you pour it out? How thick do you make it?
I let mine dwell for a couple hours all the time, no matter what, ears or not.
Grumpy Creation says, found clay, sifted it clean, drained most of the water off, but still not usable. Any ideas?
Read that one more time.
Found clay,
Okay.
sifted it clean, drained most of the water off, but still not usable.
Because it's too gunky and muddy. Lay it out thin on like a sheet of muslin or canvas, spread it out like half an inch thick, and just let it start drying out, and then it'll get back to that consistency. What you have is called slip clay.
Chad Smith says, sorry, it wasn't a shooting, it was a stabbing 9 times.
I shot him 9 times.
Jesse Shear asked, how much was the most expensive mask you've ever sold?
$750.
Alicia says, just wear your own gloves. Warmonger says, hello all, what's going on tonight?
I'm making a mask, and Stan's making a mold. Stacy's reading comments.
Lorna Lavelle says, hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Horror Beauty says, hey creepers, woohoo, beast mode.
Yeah, we got a beast mode going on. I got to put my gloves back on because look at what I've done to my finger is.
Dan McCorson says, I'm all for the show, not the flow.
Yeah, that's good.
Jennifer Pugh says, I'm going to turn in for the night. I'll catch the replay. If Jones shows up, please tell him I said hello.
Good night, Jennifer. Pew pew pew.
Ezekiel says, depending on what's cooking for a stabbing. If it's a big rib, you might stab the chef.
Yeah, they deserve it. A chef is like, that's a real loose word to use if they gave you a McRib.
Babadaza says, okay, cool, I'll check. I just want to see. I wrote it down because if I do it now, I'll get kicked off the screen. Babadaza, oh, that's what I'm talking to Babadaza. Grumpy Creation says, okay, I thought trying to keep as much of it as I could in the bucket that would eventually dry out, but it's taking forever, so I'll take your advice.
Yeah, spread it out because what's happening is it's just going to get crusty on top and the bottom's going to stay moist. You've got to spread it out and let it air out.
Courtney Boozer says, hello, everyone. Deja Coleman says,
Hold on, Courtney. There are patterns that happen in comments that tell me someone is binge watching videos. And I think like a day or two ago, Courtney was binge watching Still Beast videos.
nice.
Because you see comments on videos from like different times. So hello, Courtney. I haven't answered your comments yet, but I will tonight or tomorrow.
Deja Coleman says, hello, everyone.
Hello.
John C. says, Pinata Inks, 4-ounce bottle, $10.15 from Dickwood Online.
Yeah. I actually bought a couple of these for Cyber Monday. There was a bit of a sale.
Ezekiel says, will you flock your own beast mode, or will it be a fur or a bit of everything?
This is not for me. A customer ordered this.
I think he asked for yours.
Oh, for me, I will probably fur this so it matches the body that I'm making better.
Courtney Boozer says, I was. John Hayes says, what's your opinion on the haunted houses that are only a room? If you can find your way out, you get your money back and more.
That's an escape room. I would not call that a haunted house. Because you're literally trying to escape a room.
Courtney
Hence
Boozer,
the term escape room.
Courtney Boozer says, loving the tutorials.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Horror Beauty says, oh, flocking beast?
Not this one. Not today.
Horror Beauty says, a little tired, just got back from a short run and relaxing.
Yeah, short run, like 42 miles. Didn't run today, I meandered 12 miles.
Baba Donald says, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll do bits of fur on mine probably. Or I may do it in wool the same way I do the Caracal Wolfman and then airbrush it with the ink.
Horror Beauty says, these will look good blocked, I think. And no, Alan, only 3 miles. Short.
I see, yeah. Yeah, 3 miles.
Ezekiel says, I ran today, out of beer.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, that's awesome. Warmonger says, what the flock is Stan holding?
Stan is molding a goblin. The goblin that I sculpted a few weeks ago, he's molding it. He's still prepping it to mold because
We're doing it.
yeah, it had some problems. He's almost there.
Chad Smith says, I'm old enough, the only short runs I do are to the restroom.
I'll run out of the car because it's cold.
Ezekiel says, it's 91 degrees here today. For your health. Come on.
Thank you for changing that to Fahrenheit for us beastly Americans. Very considerate.
Matthew Gresham says, glad to finally catch another live. Just watched the reindeer video and the elf costume video, and I was wondering if you might do a similar video like the elf costume for a Santa or Krampus character.
Probably not Santa because it's so easy to buy a Santa. And I already have videos making a Krampus costume, but I could be persuaded to do another Krampus video.
I saved that image of Tony dancing.
Yeah,
That's gonna be our Christmas cards.
let's see. I thought you might want it for something.
Yeah, you know. Bob O'Brien says grumble, grumble, just had to turn on the heat.
Yeah.
I got home the other day when it was so cold here, and they had the heat on the house, and I was like, oh, why? It's oppressive. Turn it off. Hey, did we get...
Not yet. They're on their way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working in between them right now,
Yeah.
too.
It's getting a little foggy there.
This one also is on low.
Ken Zarich says it has to be 70 degrees for us beasts to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm best kept at 70 to 72. In the winter, 68 to 70. Christopher Lazone says Hallmark really needs to bring back Krampus cards.
Yeah. I'm down.
Lauren Lavelle says, love all the masks you make. Would love to learn to do it.
Keep watching
Well, you're in luck.
and ask questions.
Because that's what we do. Cat Swift says, I'm hoping for my 70th birthday to quit all wheel jobs and just create stuff. We'll see how that works out.
Awesome. One day I'm going to have a real job.
I quit my real job to do this.
Yes. Hooray. So did Stan.
Patreon, keeping our kitties in kibble. Crafty UK says, I've just stuck my head out the window and it started to snow.
Wow.
Cat Swift says, real jobs are overrated.
But I've known what I've wanted to do since I was 10. I had a very firm handle on, okay, so what it started out as, I had a real moment when I was 18 because from 10 until I started working at Terror on Church Street, I kept telling myself, what I want to do is I want to be a year-round haunted house actor. I want to be a year-round haunted house actor. And then I became a year-round haunted house actor, and I made $11.50 an hour. And I thought, maybe I want a little more to be a year-round haunted house actor. What can I do in the industry to help support and do better? So here I am. But at 18, I'm like, okay, I've achieved my life dream. Let's set new goals.
I used to think that when I turned 21, I could legally drink and then I could die because I've done everything there was to do. As it turns out, I was very wrong.
Well, you could.
I mean, I could have, absolutely.
Repeat, sir. Here's the molding table.
Big Ink Papers, I'm a huge fan of He-Man as well. I have many original figures and playsets still in the packages. Do you collect?
No, I don't. Well, okay. I have a lot of Beastman action. I make a lot of Beastmen. Okay, I make a lot of Beastmen stuff. Beastman is my favorite. I can't say that I collect per se, but I do have some Beastman stuff. And I was actually working on a custom action figure. I'm gonna make a Wolfman. There's like an artist who did a parody of Universal Monsters and He-Man action figures. So Beastman was Wolfman, Evil Lyn was the Bride, Skeletor was Phantom of the Opera. Merman was Creature from the Black Lagoon. It all kind of makes sense. Trapjaw was Frankenstein. So all that's kind of cool. And I have a couple Beastman Origins figures, and I'm turning one into that Wolfman. And doing a video of me making that is something that I could put on Patreon, because that is really off-brand for what I do on YouTube, which is masks. But Patreon is going to let me do some other things that is more than just mask making or just whatever.
Bob Adams says it's going to snow here tonight as well. In Kansas, the weather changes drastically day to day. Zeke just says, I went to music college after high school. One of the lecturers told me to have something to fall back on besides being a musician. Best advice ever. Cat Swift says, always supporting too many kids, so wanted a steady paycheck. This crazy year has shown that there are many ways to do things instead of going to a workplace.
Yeah.
Chad Smith says, I wish someone would remake the He-Man movie. We need Kevin Smith to do it.
He's working on a cartoon.
Scarecrow77 says, I wish I could do this for a living, but I make too much working a job I hate. Those
are called the golden handcuffs, right?
Yes.
Right, Stan?
Yes, they are.
The golden handcuffs.
Felicia asks, has it been snowing here in Detroit already?
And it's money is more important to you than happiness. And that's fine, as long as you know that.
Same thing, right?
As,
The other plant we-
yes, I believe that is the same exact thing.
It says moisturizer on
I bought it, so if it doesn't work,
On you.
it's on me.
Cat Swift says, similar thing, University of Political Science and Economics, and Professor said I would never get a job with these. Lol, but he was right. I mean, Victorian literature. Doing me a lot of good. You want to talk about OG Frankenstein? Like, okay. The club of weird goth kids, out in a country farmhouse writing scary stories for each other. Like, yes. Those are my people. Wow, that one smells really good.
it. I know, it comes out a little bit.
Shoot a little my way, Stan. Oh, I smell it.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
amber and argan.
Yeah.
Yeah, mineral oil.
Ooh, that's good for your lungs. Lubricates them. The oil. It probably doesn't. Don't do that. Don't come to this channel for medical advice.
Ella Copeland says, is there a glow-in-the-dark paint that works well?
Yes, there is. There is. I mean, but unfortunately, it's you have to do a little bit of experimentation. There's a brand that I like, and I have it saved on my Amazon, but I don't know if I have any here right now. Let me check.
Felicia F says, I only like snow on the grass and in the trees.
Yeah.
Scott Kohler, thank you for sharing your PayPal link.
I only liked it when I was cool.
John Hayes says, have you been to Martha's Vineyard for Jaws Festival?
I have not. See, that's one of those monster that I want to make a costume for.
You show up as Jaws?
I would actually go as Peter Benchley's Creature.
Yeah?
Yeah, Creature. Okay, here we go. Actually very happy with this. I was very happy with this for glow in the dark. There you go. And what I do is every now and then I'll buy a couple and I'll paint them on a board and I'll see how they work to
Felicia
figure out which one I
asks,
like the best.
Is that full cart?
Yes, that was full cart. And she probably asked before I got it to be less fuzzy.
Scarecrow 77 says, first light chef, sharks come cruising.
Yeah, I think part 3 where the shark followed them to the Bahamas, I think that was a stretch.
Yeah.
But before that, pretty good movie. quasi-ridiculous series, but good movie.
Chief. That makes much more sense. First Light Chief.
What, 10 minutes before you put another spray on it?
Yeah.
Good night, Michael Lassiter. Ezekiel says, my old football coach was Vic Kisloff, famous sharp catcher and an absolute nut job.
Awesome. All right, so we have to mix up something now. A nice darker orange to go in here and airbrush and all this stuff to make it a little poppy up. So let's do some orange and some black. To make the color, I shall call Blarage.
Blackcraft 27 says, I've used folk art paint on small wood carvings and it's always done me well. You can get these at Walmart for under $2.
Hooray! I don't know if they have the glow in the dark there. I normally buy it from Amazon.
Chad Smith says, I think it would have to be a nut job to do that job, shark catching.
I used to alligator wrestle.
Big Ink Media Group says, Jaws original was filmed near where I live. We have the nicest beaches that are dangerous to swim by.
Yeah.
Lol.
I've added black to orange, making the color Blarage. And I have to mix it up. So that means it's time for Zombie Snail.
Zombie snail.
Here's it's time for Zombie Snail. I need to mix these two up well. You put the top of it against your palm. The thumb goes underneath. These two fingers come down to clamp it down. Here's your snail. All right, we are shook.
Ken Zarish, LOL, laugh out loud. Yes, I know. Lol.
Oh, did he explain it to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scott Kohler, thank you for linking for the glow up paint.
My girl just kept saying lol like she
Lol.
thought it was a word.
I got my roller skates on, y'all. Scarecrow 77 says trademark orange. Ross Richard says bring on the Orlap ink. Holly Lenore says hot dang, here we go.
Zombie Snail.
John Hayes says like the Munsters, make a creepy automobile / sleigh for Krampus.
Yeah. One of the things that I want to do is I actually want to do a Krampus throne. I need one. And everybody needs a throne, right? Actually, on my Pinterest, you can see my throne idea board.
Chad Smith says the Jaws ride at Universal is one of my favorite rides of all time.
Oh, I love that. For 3 years during Halloween Horror Nights, I would work my regular job and I would work at Halloween Horror Nights, and I was almost always in the Amityville Midway. I was in the Amityville Midway, and I was the Wolfman out there, a werewolf.
Supreme Boss asks how long will you be live?
Until I'm done. No, I'll be live till about 10 o'clock tonight.
Or if he says Zombie Snail. Philly Chef says the new color is Orac, pronounced Dak.
All right.
Robert White says I want a snail. Cat Swift says, is there anyone out there that doesn't laugh every time he does that?
I'm sure there is.
Blanket, oh, Zombie Snail. Scott Colhart says, glow paint at Walmart. Thank you for the link. Courtney Boozer says that would be awesome. Blackcraft 27 says you could drive all the way to Mineral Wells, Texas Walmart. They had them there a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Ezekiel says, I'm making a Krampus throne at the moment. We'll do post pics when it's done.
That's awesome, buddy.
Poison Sumac asks, if you could swirl 2 inks, could you get any sort of a marbling pattern?
No, because they're just going to wet blend. They're just going to wet blend. Yeah. Like paint, that might work for a little while, but.
Captain Marcus says, I have to zombie along with him, much to my daughter's chagrin. I think that's the official creeper salute.
That's awkward. Still trying to get Stacy socialized. I don't know.
Good luck. Better men than you have tried. Tony's still working on it.
All right, so one time, all right, not too long ago, I was cleaning something like I am now with carburetor cleaner, and I thought, you know what, these glasses are really dirty. I will clean them with carburetor cleaner. And my glasses disintegrated. Like the lenses fell out. They just fell completely apart. And so I'm not going to do that anymore. That is not a good way to clean glasses, it turns out.
Ezekiel says, swirl technique on guitars involves borax, if that helps.
Okay, I can see that. And you know, and they're doing a lot of that swirl stuff right now with resin. Like resin pouring art is massive right now.
Yeah. Kalisha says that would be hilarious as a greeting. John C says, Stacy, look up where I can buy plaid paint. There is a brand of paint called plaid,
Yeah.
but I assume you mean paint that comes out plaid, in which case, good luck.
She's assuming you're a jerk, is what she's saying. All right, I'm just cleaning my airbrush. It's been a while, and it got really cold. Easier to leave your airbrush dirty when it's warm out than it is when it's cold out.
Travis S says you can use dried out baby wipes to get a more little swirl.
Okay. Yeah, I think on the YouTubes, I'm going to send some messages to some of the miniature painters that I follow on YouTube
Yes.
and see if they are down with. I'll send them a mask to paint,
And they send you.
and then send me a mini.
Jody Cardinal says, yeah, not good. They should be called plastics, not glasses.
Yeah, they fall right apart.
Kalisha F says, get plaid contact paper or vinyl.
Yeah.
There is rather a lot of plaid paper out right this second. Plaid, I guess, is big in for wrapping paper this year. I've seen a lot of it. John Hayes says, I like the variances of funhouse mirrors, tall, slim, short, wide, etc.
Me too. I too enjoy funhouse mirrors. It's like they're designed for fun. And since I'm going to be doing some detail airbrushing, that's why I'm cleaning my airbrush so well. Normally, I want to airbrush lines, you know, as thick as a Sharpie, and that's, you know, I don't have to worry about that. But when I want to go thinner stuff, ballpoint pen range, you got to have cleaner equipment.
Cat Swift says, the basic swirl technique for many years is water with borax and drops of paint on top, toothpick it around, or water and spray globs of enamel paint on top, swirl and dip.
Yes.
If you ever want some super soothing videos to watch, the process of like hand dipping paper, like they do on for the like interior covers of books and things like that, really beautiful. They make these, you know, dropper swirl paintings, and then they lay the paper into it and immediately just pick it up and it transfers. It's beautiful, very mellow. Chad Smith says, I saw Trick or Treat Studios has a wrapping paper. I told the wife to wrap my gifts in that. It won't happen, but one can dream.
One can dream.
Cat Swift says, we used to do it as kids' crafts. Swirl gift bag items, paper items, wood items, etc. Ezekiel said, I just buy my own gifts. It helps Santa to the kids. It helps sell Santa to the kids. My wife always has a puzzled look on Christmas Day.
Nice. Well done. So this tubing on this airbrush, this is a clear tubing. It will never be clear again. But I don't want its color to affect the colors that I put into it.
Chad Smith says, I feel like Ezekiel's the man I wish I could be.
He is Ezekiel Bradshaw, International Man of Action.
Ezekiel says, I just bought a new instrument. Next shred for bed, Lynn and I together.
Hooray!
Awesome.
Love that. I can make noise on a harmonica.
My oldest plays keyboards and guitar. My middle plays guitar. Now we gotta get my youngest on like drums or something. I play
Yeah.
bass.
Get
We're
a
so
drummer.
so close to getting a Partridge Family thing
Yeah.
together. We're gonna give Tony a tambourine.
Or like a little,
Like, what, one that's muffled?
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
take the
Yeah.
gonna make an empty tambourine. But he's gonna get the cowbell.
okay.
All right. For us, this airbrush is clean enough to not cause problems.
Big Ink Media Group says I wrap all my gifts in Walmart plastic shopping bags.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Very practical.
That way you can tell that they're yours under the tree.
Ezekiel says you don't want to be me. Thank you, Scott Colhart, for sharing the link to the shop. If you are one of our brand new patrons, at the $10 level, you've got a 10% discount on mask blanks and existing Beast FX products. Ezekiel says, we exchange gifts, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Valentine's, gifts all year round. It's good to give.
It is. It is. And me and the wife, we don't really, we have a hard time because we feel like every day is a birthday, like every day is Christmas, you know, because we're just happy to be together.
With plastic bags is the Griswold style, get it? I think, is that a thing from National Anthem perspective? Possible. John Hayes says Krampus needs a wife.
Yeah.
Felicia says, I would love a warm Christmas. Maybe I should move.
All right, we have our Blorange.
Lauren!
Turns out Blorange is brown. I've invented brown.
Chad Smith says, yeah, Stacy, after the tree catches fire. Gotcha. I have seen National Anthem Christmas Vacations, but only like once. Black Eye 27 says, nice to see some fellow guitar players. I started playing when I was 9. Been in love with it ever since.
We have a lot of musically talented people who watch. I am not one of them. I sing poorly, yet loudly.
Felicia says, see? Ah. Chad Smith says, slacker. Cat says, my mom always just puts them in brown bags and staple the top. We thought that was what Santa did, and only family wrapped and gift wrapped.
Santa's busy, guys. Santa's busy.
Big Ink Media Group says every day is a birthday or Christmas, so remember, next week is New Year's.
Some things I shouldn't say out loud. Yeah. So, here's what's awesome, all right? One of the things that's awesome is I get told fairly often that I'm an intimidating person. So a lot of people don't tell me things, they won't share things with me because they would just rather tell someone else. But it's not like I yell or you know what I mean. It's not like I get angry and yell at people or all the time. That doesn't happen. But for some reason, people think I'm intimidating. So it's nice to have a group of people who is more than willing to bust my chops every now and then because I don't get that a lot in my life, and I don't mind it.
Scarecrow 77 says, I can't find a video on how you make the helmets without masks on.
You're looking on the wrong channel. Go to Evil Ted's channel, and he has like 40 videos of him making EVA foam helmets. If I made a video on it, it would just be excessive. And he even has patterns that you can buy. Punished props also.
Oh, come on, you have music talent. Felicia F says, and you do a mean death/murder whistle.
Yeah. We did a musical haunted house. It was Walpurgis Knocked, and it was pretty awesome. The Haunt with a live soundtrack. I really like that.
That's cool. That's the only show at Dark Hour that I never got to be in before it went away.
We only did it 3 years.
Yeah. Chad Smith says, I bought the pattern for a head from Punished Props a year or so ago. They worked perfectly for mask making.
Yeah, they're fine. Now you have to check those patterns that you buy because sometimes there's a clause on there that you're not allowed to sell it. If you make something with that pattern, you're not allowed to sell it. So you have to be careful of that. Just make sure when you buy a pattern that you're able to make a helmet with it and sell that helmet.
Mike Chrzanowski says, I'm putting more mirrors in my funhouse.
Awesome.
Chad Smith says, I only make them for me. Well, thank you, Scott Kolar, for posting the Evil Ted making basic foam helmet and face shield video.
There you go.
Because Evil Ted also shows you how to make your own pattern, too.
Yeah. I learned how to make patterns from a guy named Ted Haynes, but yes.
Something about Ted's.
Yeah.
Chad Smith says, Scott should get Still Beast Employee of the Year. That guy works his ass off.
He sure does. He's awesome. He's also one of the few Stilt Beast folks who's thrown my back out. But the mold that he made at Monster Camp, the thing is massive. Yeah. When Scott came to Monster Camp, he made a dragon, and it's a healthy boy.
You so sorry. Ezekiel says, check out Lost Wax. They have patterns, too.
Who?
Lost Wax?
Okay.
Courtney Boozer says, Monster Camp?
Okay, so Monster Camp is something that we do here in the shop where people come and Friday we sculpt, Saturday we mold and pour up, and Sunday we pull out the mask. It's 3 brutal 12-hour days, but you get a mask that you made here at Monster Camp. And we have one coming up, but I don't know. We haven't announced when because we're working on that simply because of the state the world is in a little bit. So, but yeah, I do classes here in the shop all the time.
Dan, of course, says, I'm clearing 1/4 mile of additional trail tomorrow. I'm excited for next year.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Courtney Boozer says, oh wow, I would love that.
It's a lot of fun, in my opinion.
One of the benefits of supporting us on Patreon is you will have first stab at registration for Monster Camp. And
You will announce them first on Patreon, and then they go out to the general public.
thank you, Scott Kohler, for sharing the link for Monster Camp.
I love Beastman. Beastman is just so fun.
Cat Switch says, Scott is so fast and on top of everything. Scott says, Monster Camp was a great time. Oh, Ezekiel says, does Stan have groovy socks on today?
I do.
All right, Stacy, would you hijack the camera and show them?
He's making a mold right now. He's chemically committed.
Well, but you can show them his socks.
I'm not picking up his pant leg.
No, just you put the
They don't
camera
have to
down
show.
there. Put the camera down there.
He's chemically committed.
I'm almost to a point I can come on.
Okay, as soon as Stan is ready.
I love you, Stan, but
So come on.
Chad Smith asks, what is on Alan's Christmas wish list this year?
Okay, so I have been dubbed by my family very hard to Christmas shop for. So I have to keep a very tight Amazon list. And I try to I'll put tools on it, but not materials. But I'm fascinated by new materials too. So, if someone said, hey, here's this, epoxy putty that is only used on airplanes, then I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That would be a wonderful gift for me.
Daniel Corson says we're doing a Funhouse freak show also.
Awesome. It's a fun house freak show.
John Hayes asked if Krampus and the Grinch had a baby, would it be a Bronchus or the Cranch?
It would be the Cranch.
The Grinchus.
Stacy, would you now? Oh, Stan.
Bloody socks.
Oh, he's got bloody socks on. That's great.
They're very comfortable.
I have a shower curtain and bath mat that match those socks, Stan.
L. Copeland says I'm going to switch my automatic payment from PayPal to Patreon. Yay, so exciting!
That's so nice.
L. Copeland was one of the ones who demanded it.
You guys are very awesome. I appreciate it.
Also, the Patreon is a work in progress. We're going to be evolving it and stuff. So if there's stuff that you want to see, let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
Because there's times when I'm in here doing stuff, and I'm like, this isn't right for YouTube. I wouldn't mind going live doing this, but it's not right for YouTube. Because I built 54-something thousand subscribers, and I have to. If I did a video making ballerina tutus, I'm probably going to lose subscribers doing the Christmas decorations, in all honesty. But it's a technique, It doesn't matter what I'm making if I'm showing a technique. But anyway, yeah, if I did like a ballerina tutu video, I would lose subscribers. And, I wouldn't mind going live when I was working on that action figure, but that's off brand for my YouTube channel, so I shouldn't.
Big Ink Media Group says, how is the fitment of your mask? I'm on your site looking to buy a few blanks now, and I have a Shrek-sized head. Do the blanks come with the band in the back?
So all the half masks are just half mask. If you buy a blank, then you're putting an elastic strap on it, so you're strapping it for yourself. Our masks come with 2 elastic straps, but I have a large melon too. Like, I have a big head. This will go on a bucket. Like, this is a good sized mask. Stan would swim in this. It fits me very well. And we do try to say like large mask, small fit, something like that.
Kalisha F. sings Cardi B. The red bottom. Stan's got bloody shoes. Thank you, Scott Colehart, for posting the link to the Silky's Live Troopers Facebook group.
I know that Cardi B is a person, and she makes the noise. Yeah, like she does that. I can't do that.
My cat. I said cat call. That's literally the thing I used to call my cats.
Right, not to heckle women at construction sites.
Yeah.
The other cat calling kind of involves cats.
Elena Peterson says, looks so cool. John Hayes says, I can't wait for Monster Camp. Brassy UK says, that orange is looking good on the Beastie.
Thanks.
Elena Pearson says, where do you buy your silicone from?
Bitty Mold Supply. Normally I use Plat Gel 25 or Platsil Gel 10.
But this one's latex.
This mask is latex.
Dan McCorson says, Al, I'm looking for lobster man arms for a freak show. Do you know anyone that makes them, or maybe a how-to video?
Yes. I actually have a couple molds for them.
Actual lobster hands or like lobster hands?
Actual, I'm part crustacean, not circus freak. Oh yeah, that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ezekiel says, you can sing better than Cardi B, Alan.
Hey, thanks.
Chad Smith says, Alan Beast Mode's looking really sick.
I'm happy with them.
John Lowell says, I wear a size 8.5 hat. Most masks won't come close to fitting me.
I'm about in your range. Boy, I was wearing. Yeah, let me show you something fun. You'll get a kick out of this, and you're one of the few that will feel my pain on this. My still piece hat. Fits. Kind of. That's how much it's holding on by. I have that much Velcro holding my hat on because I too have a large melon. So I feel you. Like hats are like, some hats I have to cut them apart and put elastic in there. Yeah. So yes, good hat, large head.
Mr. Zanerski says, how about a different day, if each day a different theme? So those who are interested in only certain things you make know what day they need to tune in.
That's not how it works. If I post stuff that they're not interested in, then they drop the channel. That's how the YouTube audience has been cultivated.
Mike Thor says, his masks fit awesome. I love the way they fit.
And in this, I've got room in here. Like I've got room.
Carol Gordon says, have you ever thought about making a Gryla mask or a monster frog mask?
Yes, I have. Actually, Chad Smith, who was on earlier, I don't know if he's still on.
He is.
He has started making the Yule Lads, which is wonderful. And my plan down the road, if I had time to make new stuff, this Christmas season, I've been making Krampuses that people have ordered, and I've been making Jack Frost, and I've been making snowmen. So I haven't had time to make anything new. Probably next week, I'll have time, and I'm going to pour up one of my goats and make a reindeer, like a monster reindeer mask. I think that'll be fun. And then I do want to make a Gryla at some point down the road, or a Yule cat. Yes.
Samantha Surovic says, I found the deer build informative for construction of all types of things. Scarecrows being the obvious, but any animal or creature could be made that way. Giant Google money anyway?
Yeah.
Cat Swift says, so Patreon is live, but is the new channel up and running?
It is not up and running yet. I'm having some issues with the tube of views.
Alicia says, it's time to add an inch or two. Paul Bennett says, fitted hat, one size fits all.
Yeah.
John Lowell says, I found a site that sells big hats, bigheads.com.
Bigheads.com.
Ken
Yeah.
Zarish says, same here, big head. Hope says, Beast Mode's one of my favorites. Thank you, Scott Colhart, for listing the latex for Brick in the Yard. Rob O'Brien says, next week, the new year.
All right now. Yeah. I deserve that.
Rodney Pope asks, how much is the full snowman costume?
Okay. The full snowman costume was supposed to be $1,000. And I keep screwing up and saying 800. So, 800.
Biggie Media says, remember, you put your glasses at the end of the table.
They're right here. I found them. I got some.
Rachel Powell says, we have an inbred Santa. Where's the inbred Mrs. Claus?
That's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Chad Smith says, scary reindeer. As he says, what happened to the Karen mask?
It's still out there. I haven't done much. Oh, that could be Mrs. Claus, I guess.
Ken Zarish says, a mask from the fireplace with stockings hanging from it. That's my gig, damn it. Grumpy Creation says, ever did an Orko mini monster?
No. I'm not an Orko fan. Like, I much prefer the He-Man universe from the mini comics. Even as a kid, I was so angry at the TV show because they made Beastman an idiot. And, like, he should have been running the show. Like, he should have been the dude in charge.
John C. says, Beastman's name is actually Raquel Rakaz.
Yes, it is.
I 100% read that out of the corner of my eye as Rachel Ray.
Okay, well,
And I was like, yeah, I bet she's Beastman.
Yeah.
Stephen Haynes says, big head, big brain, big ideas, big heart. Hit you.
You're talking about me.
Yes. Kelly Chef says, what? I love Orko.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there was this need in 80s cartoons to have an annoying character. There was Snarf, there was Scrappy Doo, there was the monkey from the show Space Ghost. Like there was just this whole rash of, you know, oh, you have a team, you have to have this annoying little character, which did serve a purpose. However, yeah.
Chad Smith says, Stacy needs to get busy on that Medusa sculpt.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
I did.
Mike Trzaskowski says, Ezekiel, don't know how to send pick at SpongeBob. Was going to have a show painter make it for a haunt, but COVID-19 put me out of business after 27 years. Bummer. Grumpy Creations, oh, okay, I never even knew there were comic books.
I said mini comics, the ones that came with the figures, but there also were comic books. Comic books were a little closer to what Filmation was doing, but the mini comics sort of had their own whole story. Very different. Like He-Man like came out of the jungle. It was not. There was no Prince Adam. It was a very different setup.
Rodney Pope says, what happened with Shannon sculpt?
Over there, we're working on it. That'll be the next one molded.
Penzeri says, Skeletor Santa Claus.
Stan, is this your first mold all by yourself here in the studio?
Second.
Second. Okay.
Kelly Shaft says, that was how I learned of He-Man.
How? Oh, Filmation?
Yeah. Courtney Booth says, oh, Medusa. Snake, 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 snake,
Oh,
snake, snake.
Medusa. Oh, Medusa.
Yeah, that whole cowl thing had most of the snakes be on the front of the face and then have like a snake scarf
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
That-
trying to do Medusa in one piece was nuts.
Oh yeah, and that way it takes a bunch of the weight off the top of the head from doing the snake whatever. And I like it over the face way more than I do like up and back. Really best and add Brainy Smurf to the annoying characters list.
Okay, yeah.
Guys, see Stacy, there's the demand. Listen, y'all, I can't sculpt and read comics at the same time.
Yeah.
Big Ink Media Group. I hated them casting Dolph as He-Man. He killed Apollo Creed and Rocky.
Well, and I didn't think he did a terrible job. So the first words that, because we saw that, I saw that at the drive-in as a kid when it came out, and the first words he says are, "Hey, I've been looking for you," and he sounded so like, even as a kid, I looked around, I'm like, are they like they're making him sound like that? Yeah, it was rough.
The horror dream says, more female monsters. We can do monsters
Yes, you can.
too. Yes. That is my favorite thing about haunting and sideshow to an extent, is that there are two kinds of live theater in which as a girl you can get cast in stuff regardless of what your face looks like. You don't have to be pretty or even conventionally attractive at all to be awesome at your job in sideshow. Like, you just have to be a beast in both of them. And of course, there's the Karen mask on the top shelf of my mask rack.
Hooray.
Horror Beauty says, yeah. Carol Gordon says, you can do it, Stacy. Medusa. Ezekiel says, Medusa, Stacy. Get on it. Carrie Ann Olsen says, hi guys.
Hi. Hello.
Lisa Art says, Frank Langella stated in an interview that it was one of his favorite parts, Skeletor.
Yes, and you know what? A lot of the best lines, he improvised. And Frank Langella is excellent in that movie. He channeled some hardcore Christopher Lee when he was doing that. And one of his lines is, "Tell me about the loneliness of good, He-Man. Is it the same as the loneliness of evil?" And like, that gives me chills, you know? Like, what a great line.
Horror Beauty says, 100% right, Stacey. Love it. I'll never be wholly beautiful, but I'm very convinced, but I can be convincing with the parts in theater.
I think there's purity in playing a monster there that you can just strip down to a monster role, and I think that itself is that's strong, you know. There's certain joy to be gained from it.
Horror Beauty says, Hollywood beautiful. Big Ink Media Group says, all the He-Man figures were repurposed for other toys. Battle Cat was from a Safari action figure set.
Not all of them. Battle Cat was. Battle Cat was, and that was Big Jim, was that toy line. Big Jim also had a Gorilla toy that they wanted to originally repurpose into Beastman, but they decided against it. And then he was going to be one called Gygor, but that was going to come out in '86, and He-Man ended before then.
Grumpy Creations
Yeah.
says, I wanted to ask you, you use drop ceiling wire. Can it be used for yard ornaments with lights like the Spideys?
Yes. You might want to go a little stiffer though, if you're doing long runs of it. And if you go stiffer, then I would get chain link fencing wire. That comes in a spool in a reel too. It's good stuff.
Chad Smith says, man, I wish I had a need or use for beast mode. I really dig that mask.
He's one. You can probably tell I'm taking a little more time painting him than I normally do. Like I'm going to spend all night painting this one mask, but I cleaned it, and this is a good head clearing project for me.
And we got started a little later than we did. Ken Zarif says, Alan, are you using the floppy tool on that mask?
I'm not. No, this is just a straight paint job.
Ezekiel says, great minds think alike, those fools never differ.
That too.
Chad Smith says, it takes me back to childhood. Horror Beauty says, oh, Alan, best technique for making Krampus basket lightweight.
So a wicker basket is pretty darn lightweight. And the wicker clothes hampers are actually really nice. Or you can actually get 5 or 8 millimeter EVA foam and weave yourself a basket. It's not hard if you do like inch wide or inch and a half wide. And that's a nice lightweight basket that you can toss and throw around, and it's not crushable either.
What did you spray paint on the baskets that you made out of EVA in the nursery in Annabelle's? Like something y'all patterned over it. Like you just laid it over and spray painted over it. It looked exactly like wicker on that EVA.
Oh, that was... It looked wicker enough.
It looked, to my eyes, it very much
It was
looked-
the carpet gripper,
Yeah,
carpet gripper
Is that
stuff.
what it was?
That's what I used.
it looked really good.
Yeah.
Greg Pearson says, okay, thank you. Joe Reese says, Frank Langella also played one of the best Draculas.
He did do a good Dracula. You are correct.
Carrie Ann Olson says, my GI specialist dealt with the scar tissue in my GI tract via endoscopy Monday. I'm a little sore where they stretched my gut and throat. Is a little sore and hoarse, but I'm doing better than last month.
That is great. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you, Scott Colehart, for sharing our Patreon link.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, we're official.
Horror Beauty says, hamper basket won't be heavy. Looked at them, but I thought it'd be too heavy. Eventually we'll put fake children in it.
Pick one up and see. And don't put a whole fake child in it. Just have the part of the child that sticks out of the basket. Okay, that has to go in the garbage can, and I
Because the
missed.
dogs will destroy
Because the
it.
dogs will chew it, and then they'll have blue faces. Yeah. Thanks, Stacy.
You're welcome. Ezekiel says, I made mine out of EVA. I used a plastic clothes basket, wrapped it in EVA for the shape, and then removed the basket. I cut
Right.
holes and burned it into the foam with a soldering iron.
And I'm actually doing a video on making a Krampus harness on how to carry your basket, like a belt and harness for your basket. That will be up here shortly.
Corey says, Smurf dogs. Dan McCorson says, we have a group of friends from our attraction that are going to get together and try our hand at sculpting sometime in January. You guys have inspired us to give it a shot.
I love that.
Lisa Art says, I found mine at home for cheap. Fill it with newspaper and just fill the top.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are not that heavy.
Carrie Ann Olson says, wicker basket. An easy way to make something similar is out of rolled up newspaper.
Too heavy. If it's going to have the strength, then you need too much. Yeah.
Ezekiel says, even the plastic clothes basket I got from the $2 shop is light enough.
$2 shops, similar to the dollar store.
Inflation.
but with spiders
Ugh.
because Australia.
Somebody shared that Australia video of like a giant spider in the car. I was like, yeah, I would have wrecked the vehicle. That would have been a bad day. The thing is, our dollar is worth half the US dollar.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Now,
Give us time.
yeah.
Give us time.
Rachel Powell says, Alan, are you in need of a beverage refill or are you drinking water tonight?
That is actually a monster. I've had a day, I'm telling you. I do need a refill though, you are correct.
Is there another monster in there or do you want Sub-Zero?
I'm gonna go to the house, grab some ice. And while I do that, you can show them Stan's work.
Okay. Holly Lamore says, somebody needs to tell ALEXA to add blue paint to the old shopping list.
Add what kind of paint?
Blue paint?
No, I have like 3 of these. I just bought more because I use so much blue when I do the Christmas stuff. And that's why that one is empty. All right, when I come back, I need to paint Keith. And he's really close, this guy. Why don't you go ahead and take them to Stan? I'm gonna run and grab myself some ice
Sounds good.
and grab some air and kind of breathe in a little more naphtha than I would like. How's it going, Stan?
It's coming together.
Okay.
We're gonna go see Stan. Stan
Hey guys.
is getting
It's boulder rating.
Molderating.
molderating.
So I'm doing the same thing we do. This is UltraCal 30, and so what I did before this, I kind of did what they call a depends on where you are, like a print coat or like a base coat. It's really loose, and you're picking up all the detail. You're filling in holes, things like that, making sure you don't have air bubbles. Those are so bad. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm just sort of smoothing this out a little. I'm going to do one more layer of just sort of a base on it. That way I can make sure everything is covered right, and then we'll go back and we'll put burlap on it. So one of the things I'm doing is I've got a little bit of this left before it totally kicks off. So I'm packing it under the ears.
Because they need that support.
They need the support. If you were to just pour, because this turns into rock, it's stone, so it needs support underneath it. If you were to just fill it full of UltraCal and let it dry and get hard and get heavy, this could just break off the head, and then you have all sorts of new problems. So I'm putting is kind of packing this in. It got a little thick, and I'm putting it here. And this looks like it's solid in some places, but if you just sort of tap it a little bit,
It is non-Newtonian currently.
yes, it is non-Newtonian, so it'll fill in some of those smaller gaps. I'll smooth it out just a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's pretty right this minute, because we'll work on that later.
Kalisha F says, hey Stan.
Hey,
Horror Beauty says, elf.
elf. It is an elf. It's an underbite elf.
Underbite elf.
So I'm going to clean my hands off, and I'm using this bucket full of water because this stuff turns to stone even when it's underwater and even when it's wet. So if you put this down your sink and in your pipes, you will turn your pipes into solid rock, and that's not really awesome. And young Stan of age 7 or 8 years old found out about that the hard way
Oh,
when he tried to make his first mold
oh no.
and didn't want to get caught because he wasn't supposed to be doing that in the first place, and dumped it down the sink in a mad hurry, thinking,
Oh.
it'll just wash away, it's going to be fine.
As it turns out.
As it turns out, it doesn't really work that way. So the next thing I'm going to do, I need more plaster, so I'm going to grab one of these mini buckets. This one's fine.
Al says, so you could say a little bit more before it kicks the bucket?
Before it kicks the bucket. If you've never used this stuff before, it will go from like a water to a soup to a pancake batter to a mud to solid rock, and you can get all 3 of those in like a minute and a half.
Very quickly.
Like super quick. So set this over here. And what I do for this, because I don't want to, I'll be right back. Here. So I use this handy little mixing cup. You can use whatever you want, because there's not really a way to measure it like exact. So I'm going to put 12 ounces of water in here, because that's about as much as I can get on there before it starts to kick and it starts to break apart. And I don't want to waste any of the material. So roughly 12 ounces. Because what's going to happen when I mix this up in a minute is it's going to triple. You know, the volume of this will triple almost from whatever you have in here. So if you have 12 ounces of this, you just got a lot more of it when it comes time to put on here. So it's kind of hard to see because I'm way in the back.
Wait, I have a thing for this.
Yeah, we didn't have it. We weren't. This wasn't in the plan. So I'm putting my water in here, and down here we have a big container full of Ultra Cal. So we do something called cracked earth. So I'm taking this. I'm using my hand, but you're going to take your water and you're just sifting it. Now this is for illustration purposes only. If Alan busted me hanging this water bucket over the top of all of our plaster,
You would be in deep trouble.
he
So
would not care for it.
nobody
but-
say nothing.
Nobody, yeah. Keep your mouth shut. So I'm sifting this in so that it doesn't clump. I'm not dumping it. I'm sifting it, and I'm trying to go front to back, side to side to get, you know, even coverage across the whole thing. And you'll just, what you do is you're just going to keep adding plaster to it until you get what they call, it's called cracked earth. So this is absorbing, the water is absorbing this plaster as I put it in. If you just dumped it in one big bucket full, it's not going to work. It's not going to absorb the water the way it needs to, and it's going to downright suck.
Ezekiel says it's okay. We know you aren't Rob.
I'm just saying, there's a way.
Dan McCorson, I will definitely get with you about the goose feathers. I'm excited about that.
Goose fellow.
Carrie Allison says the way I made this 4-pound brick carrying basket was by slowly wrapping a sheet of unfolded newspaper around a penicle, removing penicle, and then glued it into a thin tube. Made a bunch of them, and make basket. And Chad Smith said, "This is the way."
This is the way. Anybody else totally like sucked into that show where they go on at midnight on Friday to
Oh no,
see if it's on?
not quite that sucked in.
And the only thing keeping me honest is my wife would know if I watched it without her because
Yeah.
it rats you out.
Yep. Kalisha F says, I think there should be pencil. Yeah, that makes sense.
Damn Disney ratting you out.
I know. Alright.
All right, so we're about there, and so as you can see, it's absorbing, and you get sort of this, sort of cracked earth, you know, like top of a map. I'm going to put a little bit more, and that's where we're at for making plaster.
Woot. Alright.
I'm making plaster.
And we're back.
Just about.
Robbie Creation says, oh yeah, daughter would skin me if I ever watched Mandalorian without her.
Yeah, Disney tells on you though.
So, speaking of quality viewing experiences, I watched Vikings versus Krampus the other day.
How was that?
It was terrible, but not as terrible as you would expect.
Nice.
Like the Krampus wasn't that bad. It was a very old world story. Yeah.
Kalisha F says final countdown instead of Flashdance.
Yes.
Cat Swift says Ed Edmonds referred to it as floating islands.
Okay.
Floating island.
Yes and no. Cracked earth is how to mix UltraCal and HydroCal plaster. The island method is used for US #1 pottery plaster. That's what Ed uses, and plaster of Paris. So different plasters, slightly different techniques, and there's more these delicious cookies over here for you guys.
Hey! Ezekiel says, oh, my kids the same story every episode.
Shannon makes a very wonderful
Fruitcake cookies.
fruitcake cookie,
They
which
are my favorite.
fruitcake is not good. These are real good.
I like
They're like
fruitcake,
soft.
too. Baba Dust says, oh my god, the cookie sounds so good.
I'm sorry.
Baba Dust says, shut up, you're just mean.
If I was mean, I would have broken it apart and showed you the inside. Yeah.
Ezekiel says, cookies. Chad Smith says, any rum in these?
No.
Cat Swift says, I thought I saw a weird label on his bag. For Ed Edmonds.
Yeah. He uses US #1 pottery plaster. It's a different animal than what we use here.
Horror
And-
Beauty says, recipe for the cookies?
If you ask the creepers, I'm sure Shannon will give it to you. And they're pretty amazing. A piece of advice I've been giving mask makers lately is that pick one person to follow their advice when you're making masks and follow that person's advice all the way through. It doesn't have to be me, but if you use Ed Edmonds' way of mixing plaster and then my mold making, there's gonna be a disparity, you know? People do things the way they do for a reason, and we've done it for so long it might be internalized, and we don't say it out loud. I try very hard to say stuff out loud, but yeah.
And Blue Shed said, oh my god, Shannon, I'll pay for some and shipping. Carrie Ann Olsen is on a GD liquid diet. Ezekiel said, is that Texas zombie cookie?
Delicious.
Bob Doss says, hey, you guys know the monolith that appeared mysteriously in the desert?
Yes. I'm also aware of the artist who makes them.
Grumpy Cases, I was going to take a bite then. Grumpy Creation says, Christmas tradition cookie for us, butterscotch chips, Skippy peanut butter, double boiler,
I'm in.
corn flakes, wax paper, refrigerate, no bake. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I eat that.
Finn Cockwolf says, I love fruitcakes, the food that is. Me too. Yeah.
I'm fine with the people in all honesty.
Chad Smith says, holy cow, haven't you seen the video that Jason Becker posted on Facebook of the zombie deer caught a trail cam?
No, I have not yet.
It's just crazy. It was in Illinois.
Well, okay, so zombie deer, that's an actual thing. Like was it wasting disease? Is that what it's called? Or yes, there's a big issue with deer populations getting this disease, and it's causing problems.
Cat Swift says the monoliths have been popping up everywhere.
Yes. It is 2020. Now I do know artists who that's very similar to their work, like almost their calling card. So that's my firm suspicion as far as what it is.
Word Beauty asks, what's a Texas zombie cookie? Ezekiel says it has the devil's salad in it.
The devil's
I've never heard the devil's salad. I've heard the devil's lettuce. My particular favorite is jazz cabbage. Bob says, well, my first thought was it's definitely an artist. My second thought was, that's what Alan and Shannon do with pumpkins. Rodney Pope asks, how long are you going tonight?
I'll be done with this right about 10 o'clock, so probably about 10 o'clock.
Carrie Ann Olsen says it's bovine TV. It's a problem here in Michigan, too. Scott Kohler says chronic wasting disease.
Chronic wasting disease, that's what it is. And this is a clear matte varnish. I'm actually sealing the mask. And I want to paint the teeth, but the ink has a tendency to bleed through the paint. So if I seal it first, then I can paint the teeth and it won't be a problem.
Thanks. Chad Smith says, no, it wasn't the tongue sickness. They were calling it a zombie sickness. This deer was missing a large section of its back and was just walking around like normal.
That's chronic wasting disease.
I would have think it would have lived.
You know what? And animals are so remarkable as far as what they can go through. Back to Gatorland. I've seen alligators just get their whole leg ripped off by another alligator, like by accident, and be like, "Oh, well, that stinks," you know. And you can't even tell they're in pain.
Do alligators panic? Like,
No, I mean
Yeah.
they'll run away from you. You know, like they'll run into the water, like a turtle will jump in the water.
Yeah.
But like freak out? No, that's not their way.
Robert Bryan says, I still want to put an obelisk in my yard for Christmas decoration.
Do it.
Chad says, I wouldn't think it would have lived. Ezekiel says, devil's lettuce is lightweight, you need the whole salad, so I've heard. John Haynes says, I was totally shocked. One of my favorite movies is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The one with Leonard Nimoy, but I found out there's an older one in black and white.
Yeah. Yep. I also enjoyed Day of the Triffids, if you want to look that up. Day of the Triffids. That's a good old body snatcher-esque movie.
Bob Dawson says, keep losing you guys. Is chronic wasting disease the same thing where they walk all zigzag and can't stand?
Yes. Eventually. Like that's a stage of it.
That makes me sad. Jenny Donald says, don't know about alligators, but I have heard of crocodile tears.
Yeah, there's so much crazy stuff in the world, like the sudden hive death that happens to bees, you know? I mean, the world is fascinating and scary as heck.
Grumpy Creation says, you know I have to watch this Vikings versus Krampus thing now.
Sorry. What's that quote from the movie Gladiator? This will be long, this will be painful, and you will not enjoy it. It says that to the Queen, I think.
300.
Yeah, 300, that's what it is. Different guys in toga movies. Thanks, Stan.
You're welcome.
Okay. Problem with clear matte varnish, you can't always tell when you're done.
Oh no, Ezekiel says, I'm not watching it. Princess Bride was 2 hours, I won't get back. Oh, heartbreaking.
Hands down my favorite movie.
Babadon says, how did the deer get it? Ticks, please?
I'm not the guy. I wish I knew more.
Scrappy UK says, I saw a documentary on zombie alligators.
Yeah.
Cat Swift says, no, Day of the Triffids is the one movie that has haunted me all my life. My kids find it funny. I can't even be around those 6-foot sunflowers.
Noted.
Lee Chef says, Princess Bride is awesome. We're such big fans of Princess Bride. We had the guy who married us do the whole
Cataways.
bit.
I don't even know if I would have hung out for that.
Well, it was at the very beginning, so
Well, I still leave.
still
Don't doubt my ability to leave a wedding.
Alan's like, and
So here's where I'm at right now in my life. I ask, if I get invited to a wedding, are your vows going to say as long as we both shall live or as long as we both shall love? Because that just sounds like an out, and I'll mail you a toaster, but I'm not going to go.
Lee Chef says, as you wish. Ezekiel says, if you schedule Princess Bride and Patreon, I'm throwing a tantrum.
No, probably not.
Ezekiel, would it be better if it was MST3K style, where we're like ripping through it, the whole thing? Like,
I wouldn't enjoy that. leave my Princess Bride alone.
I'm totally blanking on the name of the guy who officiated our wedding, which is awful. He's a friend of Tony's. He was the dance master at Scarborough for a long time.
Short,
Yeah.
long hair,
Ish.
Shane,
Shane Thompson.
Richmond.
Yeah. No, Shane Thompson.
Oh.
No. Maybe? I think it's Shane Thompson.
Okay,
I
could have been.
could be wrong.
Could have been.
Tony, are you
I
watching?
know a Shane Thompson and a
And
Shane
Shane
Chambers.
Richmond, yeah. I think it's Shane.
Remember, this matte sealer was just to keep the ink from bleeding through the latex paint I'm about to put on these teeth.
Cat Swift says, oh yes, does this mean if I come to Monster Camp, Alan will decorate my bench with sunflowers?
I say nothing.
Dan McCorson says, chronic wasting disease, common around Minnesota and Wisconsin. People die a horrible death if they get it. It's hard to cook out of the meat. Paul Lee says, love your work. Friggin' awesome. Do you guys make masks for movies?
No, I don't do anything for movies really. I make monsters for haunted houses. I'm a haunted house guy. I just have never been appealed to the movie business. I much prefer haunted attractions and how they operate. That is my background, so I work for haunted houses.
Ezekiel says, let's just say it's not for me. Chris, Derry Rose Elrod says, good evening from Arkansas.
Good evening.
Bob Madonna says, my cat died. The vet said he got it through fleas/ticks, so everyone don't skip on your flea meds.
Yeah, no kidding.
Rodney Pope says, I never watched Princess Bride until I heard y'all talking about it. I thought it was good.
It's a fun movie.
Chad says, okay, just did some Google search on the CWD. If that's what the deer have in this video, it is the worst case ever. You can see muscle structure. Just look up Jason Becker on Facebook and see the video.
Yeah, he was probably attacked by something too.
Carrie Ann, go ahead.
What happens is they can't run away from predators the same way, you know?
Carrie Ann Olsen says, bovine TV is usually caught when deer gather at food plots. Paul Bennett says, night everyone. Alan, great job on the mask. Beast mask colors are fantastic.
Hey, thanks.
Ken Zarish says, spongy degeneration of the brains of infected animals results in emaciation, abnormal behavior, loss of bodily functions, and death. Zombie deer. Big Ink Media Group says, anybody want a peanut? Rest in peace, Andre.
Stop this rhyming. I mean it.
Dan McCorson says, I watched the movie Haunt. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
Paul Lee says, that's cool, thank you. Jordan Bunce says, just signed up for your Patreon. Thank you, Jordan.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you so much.
Bob Adaz says, interesting. Scott Coyner says, hello, Alan and crew. Mask is looking great.
Thank you. Yeah, this is these guys are a labor of love. I'm a giant Beastman fan. Because he was the closest thing to a Wolfman that there was.
Currently at 18 patrons.
Wow.
18 patrons on Patreon today. Words is hard. How do you do it? Mass Slasher says, hey, Alan.
What's up, man?
Carrie Ann Olsen says, don't eat deer meat off of infected deer.
Well, that's the hope.
But Kalisha F says, are we done with the zombie CWD deer details yet? I'm trying to eat.
But is it trying to eat you?
Hello, Lucas. You a good boy? You a good boy, Boris?
Yeah, I kind of wish Brandon D was on right now. He's an entomologist, I think, and there's a lot of real fun zombie stuff with bugs that happens
Oh, yeah.
and fungus. Yeah.
Carrie Ann Olsen says, go to the DNR to get it tested. Felicia F says, nope, they don't come this deep into the city. Rodney Pope says, I'm not far behind either. I've got to finish a home theater for a customer in Southlake, Texas.
Where in Texas?
Southlake.
Right down the street. Fine.
John Hayes says, there's a sanctuary in my area in Canada. Some Canadian beasts have a condition called ankle wings. Deformed wings can't fly from people feeding popcorn and bread to them. No, Canada gooses. Ezekiel says, this deer zombie thing sounds awful. I wonder if we have it in Australia. Max Slasher says, another late night. Columbus Clay is also currently out of lead. Monster Makers has oil clay, but I refuse.
Well, yeah.
Big Ink Media Group says, what are your thoughts on McCamey Manor?
It's an interesting experience. I would not call it a haunted attraction. It's not a haunted house. It is it's a torture simulation, and if that's what you want to do, then you should have a right to do it. I don't like that it's often called or lumped in with a haunted attraction, because that's not what I try to do with my show. So my thoughts on it are mixed. I'm a free speech kind of guy. I think he has the right to do what he wants, and a good haunted house is a reflection of its owner. But I think that what he's doing is outside of a standard haunted house enough. I don't think it should be called a haunted attraction.
Ben Goggle says, Alan, do you ever think of doing a fishing video?
I was actually thinking about doing a fishing channel at one point in time, a separate YouTube channel, because I fish differently than most. I'm a very urban fisherman, like I fish in weird spots. I don't like go out on big lakes and do that. I go to drainage ditches. I'd rather pull a real big fish out of a small area, that you're surprised he even lives in there. One of the biggest fish I ever caught was a 7-foot alligator gar, and it was in a pond less than an acre size pond. It was one heck of a fun fight.
Grumpy Creations says, we used to eat deer liver and you just can't do that anymore. Right now with everything, I don't know if you want to really eat deer at all. So, please, Jeff, Alan, you just used it and you still hand test that you've done.
Gotta make sure.
Baba Dallas says, God, that makes me so sad. I love animals.
I want to know how hot it is where I'm hitting it. So I do this quite a bit too.
Chad Smith says, and now there needs to be a zombie deer movie. Hunters beware.
I bet it's in production.
Blackcraft27 says, did you name your dog after Boris, the animal from Men in Black?
No, I named my dog after Boris Karloff. I have Boris, Bella, and Cheney, named after Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, and Lon Chaney.
Carrie Ann Olson says, kangaroo have what's called lumpy jaw, and Tasmanian devils have facial features. Dan McCorson says, Chad, that would be a great movie. Thank you, Scott Kohler, for sharing our Still Beast Studios Teespring merch link.
Thanks, sir. Hey, kids, buy a t-shirt. Or just tell folks you want one for Christmas. And even though next week is New Year's, you can get one by Christmas. I am your friend. I'm not your smart friend.
And Twitch says, Boris Karloff. Yes.
Yes, I'm going to get this guy finished. And once I get these teeth painted, I'm going to wax them.
Ezekiel says, yeah, kangaroos have some gnarly diseases.
Yeah. Like kangaroo are your deer, as far as I can tell. Like koalas are your raccoons, and deer.
Are they?
Yeah.
Do they get in your garbage cans?
Well, only if you throw away eucalyptus leaves. But they're similar-esque.
Carrie Ann Olson says, yeah. Polly says, I love eating kangaroo. Best meat ever. Billy Jeff says, yes. Context. Context is key.
So I did a nice yellow tooth color, and I'm going to do a white over the top of it. And these will merge, and they'll give me a little tartar line up top.
Ezekiel says, the only country in the world where we can eat our coat of arms.
That's awesome. That's very practical. Benjamin Franklin really wanted the turkey to be the national bird.
Yep.
He fought hard for that.
Kelly Chef says, yes, and the kangaroo equals deer, not the best meat ever part. Mass Slasher says Doom Shroom is ready. I should have it shipped tomorrow or Friday. The only thing you need to do other than paint is obviously contact cement the bottom and top mushroom together.
Very excited.
So I marked it front and back so you can easily see which way it goes. If you don't paint it in the live stream, is there any way you can send me a video personally? I'd like to see your process on it.
I will paint them in the live stream for you.
Chad Smith says, Alan, what's the craziest thing you ate and was it any good?
See, I don't. Boy, it's food. You know what I mean? I don't consider it crazy. I don't eat a lot of things that are not food. I've eaten rattlesnake. I've eaten frog legs. I ate alligator every day for like 4 months. Yeah. I don't have much for you. Okay, like as far as crazy things that I've eaten, squid is a crazy thing for me to eat. I like calamari, but it's crazy that it lives in the ocean and we just go rip it out of there and eat it. Like that's nuts. I also love oysters. I like fresh, cold oysters. Delicious.
Grumpy Creation says, is it kangaroos they eat or wallabies or both?
I think they eat the slowest one.
Carrie Ann Olson says, kangaroo leather makes good whips.
It does, yes. Morgan, something Morgan, David Morgan, is that who makes the whips? He made Indiana Jones's whips?
That's cool. Ezekiel says, ostrich rissoles? And no, it was awful, kind of Blue Mince vibe.
I've eaten ostrich, it's terrible. I had an ostrich burger, I did
Yeah.
not like it. It tasted like old socks. Not even my old socks.
Jordan Bunn says, a pocket cheeseburger?
Pocket cheeseburger.
Finn Godwell says, you ate liquid nails and okra.
I did, yes.
Carrie Ann Olson says, when I went to Vietnam, I had snake.
Cool.
John Hayes says, Cujo, rabbit dog gone mad. Ezekiel says, we eat them all.
Yeah.
Max Slasher says, my favorite meat is elk. Elk is delicious.
There was a restaurant in Atlanta called The Abbey, and we ate there once, and I had an elk steak. It was delicious. I don't know if The Abbey is around anymore.
Mike Trzynowski says, do you have a boat? Just wondering.
I have a little boat that I bought recently that I have not even put in the water. I got it through Facebook Marketplace. It was normally a $1,500 boat, and I got it for $300.
Or Beauty says, brain, and it was mushy, gross, and the taste sucked.
Did you get it like battered and stuff, like a brain sandwich? That's not that bad. Pickled pig's feet, those are kind of gross, because I don't like things that are pickled.
I have a jar of pickled quail eggs in the car right now. That's my use. Urban Molnar says, like in Australia, they eat Canada goose back home in Canada.
Yeah.
Paul Lee says, gotta watch what you eat from the sea. Fukushima pollution.
Yeah.
Philly Chef says, calamari, rip it out of there, fry it, eat it all.
Yes. I'll eat anything that's better than fried, let's be honest.
Ezekiel says, I've eaten moose in Sweden. Rough eating.
Yeah, the Swedish have very interesting food tastes.
Horror Beauty says, still confused about the pocket burger.
There's no need to be confused. So, when I work haunted houses, one of the things that I do is I will buy cheeseburgers, normally from Whataburger. I'll buy 3 or 4 from Whataburger or from McDonald's in a pinch, like they're not my favorite burger. And I'll just put the burger in my costume pocket. And while I'm talking to people in character, I'll just reach in my pocket, pull out the burger, I'll take a bite, like maintain eye contact, take a bite, and put it back. And I don't mention it, but they're always fascinated, appalled, and sometimes low-key jealous that I have a pocket burger. And it gives you lots to talk about.
Cat Swift says, when wandering through Scotland years ago, I got stuck in a polite/rude situation. I had to eat some haggis. Not only awful, but I'm a vegetarian. Bob Adaza says, Kay, I think I'm out of this conversation. Good night, everyone. Alan, give Shannon my love. And can we make her cookies a Patreon reward? Maybe. Ronald Bryan says insert gagging noises here.
Feel like what level should Shannon send you cookies?
I don't know, maybe that's a $50.
That sounds good.
Our Lady Luncher says, howdy Alan, and whoever is answering our howdies and questions.
That is Stacy. And
Wow.
Stan is over here making a mold, so you can currently see Stan's bum. It's right there behind Eastman's ear. Okay, you can see Stan's pants where his bum ought to be. That's what you can see. Sorry, Stan, for calling you out like that, but
Ezekiel says, the Swedes eat some stuff the homeless would turn down. So gross. Carrie Ann Olsen says, you can get bat meat fried with veggies and serve stuff back into its body in the Pacific Islands.
that sounds wonderful.
Matt Slash says, what caused an airbrush to splutter? I cleaned it and made sure the moisture trap was empty.
You may have water in your line. You may have a cracked cone, depending upon the type of airbrush you have. It might be an irregularity that's in, you might have a bent needle tip. There's a lot of things that it could be.
John Hayes asked, have you ever listened to Coast on the radio?
Not in a long time. I did back when it was George Norrie who was the host.
Ellis Fire says, I had elk roast and it was the best roast I've ever had.
Oh, sounds good.
Grampy UK says, best steak I've had was wild boar when I was in Sardinia. Lovely, lovely jubbly.
Jubblies means something different here.
I guess. Warmonger says, I once ate a sandwich from Arby's, whatever meat that is.
All right.
Legally, it's me.
One of my favorite fast food sandwiches is called the Meat Mountain. It's called the Mountain from Arby's. And it is basically every type of meat they have stacked up. Yeah. And it's like 2 of their regular sandwich boxes taped together to hold it. It's a wonderful thing.
Grumpy Creation says, come on, pickled turkey gizzards on the palm.
Oh, okay.
Good night, Horror Beauty. Good. Chad Smith says, ideas. I should carry around a White Castle Crave case when acting. Let's face it, it'd be more for me and not for anyone else.
Well, that's the thing. Just keep one in your pocket. And then because your costume pocket is pretty clean. It's not like it has stuff you know what I mean? So what? You eat some pocket lint. Big deal. Builds your metabolism. Not your metabolism.
An unwrapped cheeseburger. Just
Yeah, it's unwrapped. It's not wrapped up. It's a naked cheeseburger in your pocket. But I don't like putting lettuce and all that stuff on it that's gonna leak. It's a dry
I mean, you
burger.
don't want to be gross.
Yeah, it's ketchup, mustard, and cheese only. That's what I put on my burgers.
Hartley Lunster says, hi, Stan and Stacy. Hello. Loser says, I gotta run. Thank you, Alan, Stacy, and everyone. Have a great evening.
Well, thank you.
Carrie Ann Olsen says, the best meat I ever had is cow tongue. Melts in your mouth.
Okay.
Ken Zuri says, I want to try chilled monkey's brain. It's a real thing.
It is.
Ezekiel says, gotta go, you're all awesome. See you soon.
All right, Ezekiel.
Now here there's of course like goat tacos and there's also tongue tacos.
Yeah.
They're not that bad.
Those are pretty good.
John C. says, is that why the alligator only had 3 legs? I guess he's catching up from previous.
Maybe.
Mass Left says it's sputtering and there's a lot of water in my paint when I spray it. It will spray fine and then it will sputter and water spurts out.
Yeah, you've got right now there's a temperature change. So you have water in your line and it's too much for your moisture trap. So you could get a bigger moisture trap. When I had to do that, when I was in Orlando, one of the things I did was I used a 5-gallon bucket and I made a giant moisture trap where the air went in one side of the lid and it came out the other side of the lid. And the air would pressurize inside of there, and the air would move, but you would get water gathered in the bottom. So, yeah.
Good night, Anna Forrison. Chad Smith says, love tongue tacos.
So, gang, I think that this beast mode mask is done, kids. I'm happy with this paint job. I likes it.
John C. says, I ate a kangaroo, but it made my stomach jumpy. Art Lake Luncher says, gator tacos are delicious. Carrie Ann also says, be right back. All this talk about food's making me hungry.
Hungry.
Paul Lee says, gotta have pineapple and beetroot on a burger. That would destroy your burger pocket. Chad Smith says, don't eat horse meat. You'll get the trots. Ken Zuri says, wicked. Matt Slasher says, looks great. Chris Gary Rose Elrod says, nice job. Anthony Cantana says, hey, sorry I'm late. It was my dad's 29th birthday today, which Texas Roadhouse. Happy birthday, Anthony Pentalo's dad. Alatra Art says, just got in. Wow, Beast Mode looks awesome. Urban Molnar says, very cool mask. JLR says, awesome, love it. Paul Lee says, awesome bros. John Hayes says, awesome radio show, Finn. Rodney Pope says, he looks awesome. Lisa Arndt says, awesome. Felicia F says, awesome job. Josh Newman says, hi, everyone. You're late, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Ben Gobble says, paint job looks great, Alex. Susan Matthias says, looks good.
Yeah, this paint job is a little more subtle than I normally do. How you doing, Stan?
How you doing?
We got a
Great.
couple more.
Okay.
Felicia F says, he looks fuzzy.
Burlap on this?
Nah, just yeah, thick batch, slap it on there. He looks funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Rachel Powell says, simply smashing. Robert Bryan says, I think I want to do one of those as a skunky. Josh says, I like the mask. Mask Lecture says, the tips of the sculpted hair on the mask. How do you mold that without the falling or breaking off?
don't let it dry out that much. Tips are the last thing that I do on my sculptures.
Ben Gobble says, still didn't see Stan's socks. You have to roll it back then.
You gotta roll it back.
I've watched them all.
Big Media Group says, Bison is great. Chad Smith says, I like Bison also. Felicia F says, I don't remember you adding hair, so the paint detail is amazing.
That's the beast man, and that's the beast mode mask.
Ken Zarish says, Bison stew.
Bison's good. I like bison. I got a place over by Love Field that called Barney Fife, the bison hamburger.
Right.
They basically run out every day.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
You have to be there early.
So gang, we're gonna finish up this poll, but I think it's time to say goodbye to friends and family. I think we're ready to wrap up this evening. Stan, would you say goodnight?
Good night, everybody.
Stacy, would you say goodnight?
Good night.
Thank you everybody for watching tonight, for being so supportive, and for those of you guys who jumped on Patreon. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You can't see, I just touched my heart. And I appreciate it. Good night. Go make stuff.
All right, style.
Okay.